Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you all. Got a plug in. Yes. Let's get right to the top here. I'm waiting. We all are in life at some point, for some reason. I hear Birdbrain polishes his spanner, his tool. Do you get polished? I'm not sure. He hasn't replied. Is that what he's doing? Well, the things that we do to entertain ourselves, honest. These young bird, you're playing with your spanner, you're polishing it. Is anything oozing out of it? Yes, please don't tell us. Hit hurry up for one. Not sure where that's going. I'd better move on. Sweater is a term used for idiots. Okay. This conversation is really deteriorating rapidly. I'd better move on to an actual question. Oh, God. G'day, Christina. Last week I was just too pooped out to join. Okay, fair enough. Luckily that was sane. G'day, Shell. I like the ears. New look. Yes. G'day, Trouble. And what's Richard saying? Not too bad, thanks. Busy morning. Okay. Bit of a conversation. Yep. Hit that like button. I don't get enough likes. What is it with it, everyone? Everybody watches these live streams, but I get a good number in considering my sort of subscription, membership. I get a good percentage of viewers, but not enough likes. Please give me more likes. Even dislikes will do. I'm back now, Harry. Oh, good. We're so happy. Well, some of us are. I don't think Birdbrain is. No, he's not happy to see you. Oh, no. I hope life slows down. Yes, me too. Sometimes it's nice when, things are sort of cruisy. You got to enjoy things. I've got a bit of the last 2 bloody weeks, I've had a bit of a croaky sort of voice, a bit like that. But I've had people around me, you go to supermarkets or go here and they're either coughing or sneezing through the winter because nobody takes vitamin D or anything like that. So sick and tired of it. I had one lady yesterday just behind me just sneezing and coughing, and I'm going, bloody hell. And you think, they're told by the authorities, stay at home if you don't feel well. No, I have to go down to the supermarket, and I could see in a little, because I was just getting a couple of items. I'd got some meat and a few other things to go around to, for a barbecue at my mate's place, as I normally do. We sort of went for our walk, went into the Salamanca market. Well, it's not the Salamanca markets. It's sort of a cut down version. They didn't even have as many local people turn up as we thought there would be down there. Some store holders did okay. I chatted around with a couple of them because I know quite a few of them down there. And one of my mates, my Polish mate, he was down there selling his hats. So they didn't do too bad. But, they were wondering why there wasn't as many local for the D, so to speak. So that was a bit interesting. But yeah, some people, God almighty, they like to spread it around, don't they? It's right here. It's sort of cooling down. I don't like, really hot beverages. I like them cool down a bit. They sort of burn part of your esophagus off. Not a good thing. We were never designed to consume really hot beverages, even though my father still does. God, if it's not hot enough, you won't drink it. You warm this up? God almighty. He's got no sensation in his mouth. Yes. Well, we know Jared is taking his time. Oh, being so friendly. Good. Good to see. Definitely not. You're your regular jovial self, get stuck into the bird. Nothing changes there. Week in, week out. Oh, that is annoying. I had a week without kitchen lights once. Nightmare. Yes, there's nothing like that. Jared Harry, insert here. That is concerning. Insert what? Yes, I would be questioning that as well, that insertion thing. Blinky? I wouldn't be asking him. It's the last person you want to be asking for a comment on this issue. He's going to go downhill rapidly. The conversation will deteriorate beyond a joke. Yes. I did miss Bart's thing today. This morning I got up late because I went late to bed. I looked at the time and it was fucking nearly 2:00. It was 25 minutes to 2, and I'm going, oh shit. And then by the time I got other things sorted, so late night. Saturday nights tend to be late for me, which is a bit of a hassle. It's really hard. The only times that I've actually gone early to bed on a Saturday night is when I've had, an invitation from Bart or Pim to come on theirs, or I've done something with them and I have had to get up early because I've got no other option, so I've had to go early to bed so I can get up and be on the, so, I haven't been on his live stream, but I know he's probably still a crook, because he was crook when I chatted with him on Friday, had a bit of a chat, a Skype with him, and we just had a bit of a chat and all that. He wasn't sounding too good. So I hope he's getting better. It is. There you go. Richard likes a stalker. He's all yours, T1 and T2. I would not be encouraging these two. You should know that. It's fraught with a lot of danger. G'day, Daniel. Good to see you, mate. Yes, it's full tong with these two characters. Yes. It's boarded up. I bet it is. And through those little crevices or whatever, you'd peck them to death, wouldn't you? G'day, Necro Kitty. Good to see you. Got a few fans here, T1 and T2. Yes. What's been happening in the carnival community? Anybody listening? I did hear something, and it was brought to my attention. Somebody emailed me and said Sean Baker and Paul Saladino have been going at each other on the fructose and PUFA thing. I know who I'm with. on this issue, and you know who I'm with. It's not Paul. So yes, it's about time this issue was flushed out. And I don't think you can have credibility if you're actually arguing that pork is inferior to honey. You know what I mean? That's just, come on, please. So you can't be guzzling down honey and say, oh, that pork is so bad for you, when the majority of longevity populations consume both pork fat and pork itself in large amounts. I mean, the Okinawans, we start the day with pork, we finish the day with pork. So it's a non-issue. So, yes. And most of the populations, you go around the world, Chinese, take the Hong Kong Chinese. I mean, because I do have a Cantonese friend, and I was around her place last night, and we were just chatting, and I was helping her out with a couple of things. She'd need to move some furniture. So, and I can tell you, they eat plenty of pork. So they're big pork consumers. So they've got one of the highest meat consuming populations in Asia, and they live the longest as well, the Hong Kong people. So her dad basically just lives on pork. My dad, So yeah, it's nonsense. And as I pointed out when I was having my chat with Bart last time when he was on my live stream about pork, I've put my arguments out there. People know them. So it's a non-fucking issue. Paul's wrong. Sean's right. And so am I on this issue. And I've been pushing this issue about, animal poofa not being an issue. It's the seed oils. It's these refined, processed, that go through an oil refinery that are severely damaged. And, when they get incorporated into our tissue, they're very reactive. When they get incorporated, they do a lot of damage. And rat studies, I would say to Paul, are useless. Why? Because they don't have the same conversion genes that we have. When you look at the genetics on PUFA, so LA, we are good converters to arachidonic acid, to AA. So LA to AA, we're really good converters. Why? Because we are. It's just in our genetics. Rats will be at this very low gradient. They will just load up on LA. They won't convert it. Very poor converters to arachidonic acid, where most other humans are in this sort of group, and then the outliers are really up here. And those outliers up here have the same genetic SNP that I have, and they also tend to be a genetic SNP that's in longevity populations as well. So, when I hear this sort of nonsense, I would say Northern Europeans probably, some Northern Europeans, like certain tribal groups like the Sami, they probably don't do as well on a very high, because they've probably got those genetics much lower in the sort of conversion rates. But most others, and we're talking about very marginal, because even the chimps hunt little piglets, okay? Early hominins did the same thing. They were very easy to catch. So this is why we've got these genes specifically to convert LA to arachidonic acid. And arachidonic acid acts as an anti-inflammatory, as a repair mechanism, as a pro-inflammatory, but to basically inflammation, to repair things, to heal things. So, it's just fucking nonsense as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. Paul's gone down this rabbit hole, the wrong rabbit hole, and now he doesn't know how to extricate himself, so he's doubling down or doubling up or whatever you want to call it. He's doubling down, basically. So he's wrong. Simple as that. And if he wants to debate with me on this issue, I'll debate him anytime because he's wrong. I'll blow him out of the water. He's got no argument because he has to explain why our genetics are different. One, and he hasn't discussed this genetic difference between us and rats, which is one issue. And then he has to explain why you've got all these longevity populations, all these paradoxes. It seems that he's very keen on the paradoxes when we talk about the French paradox, all these paradoxes about criticizing epidemiology. And then he turns around and basically uses the same junk to basically argue against animal PUFA in pork or eggs or stuff like that. He doesn't use eggs, but he uses, and I'm going, well, if you eat quite a few eggs, there's probably more PUFA in that than what there is in pork. So, yeah, I get lost with those silly arguments. But so you have first knowledge of this. Being a tree animal yourself, you seem to enjoy sitting in trees. You've observed this. Very good. The world has been burning whilst you weren't looking, Harry. Yes, apparently. Look, I've been looking at my archaeology stuff. I've really switched off some of the nutritional stuff, Not that I've just sort of, for the last couple of weeks, I've been a bit aloof on this sort of stuff, But, occasionally I get an email and people tell me, oh, did you hear about this? I'm going, oh, okay, that's interesting. So they've been having it a bit out. But I haven't actually checked their videos where they've had the argument. But somebody said was it on Instagram? I can't remember now. So, yes, just quickly grab this. What do you think of these integrative medicine docs and their medical hormone replacement therapy supplements? I wouldn't touch that crap as far as I could. You can fix it with good nutrition over time. This is bullshit. It creates dysregulation, all sorts of other problems. It downregulates the capacity for the body to function properly. It's please. It's the thing that a lot of women with hormone replacement therapy and stuff like that, God almighty, they can become postmenopausal and all that. What have I been saying to people? Boron. Use boron to correct, because boron will basically balance those things out. 12 milligrams, you don't want to go higher because the toxic level, but what it does is it raises estrogen to those much normal levels. And then over time, you can come down to a 1 to a 3 gram dose as a maintenance dose as you're transitioning. It's that sort of upheaval that happens. So, yeah. Yes. So back to the pollen. Yes, I have. And maybe Paul isn't into porking. Yeah, possibly. That could be a thing. Yes. Unlike T1 and T2, they are really heavily into that sort of stuff. Aren't you, boys? So did I. Yesterday, I had a nice, a thick rasher, pork rasher, a porterhouse steak, a thin porterhouse steak, and one beautiful pork chop with a big fat piece of skin, and that's really good because that that all that sort of thick fat and skin, pork skin you get on these chops and stuff like that, really good for your, it's a source of collagen as well. So fantastic stuff. So get it into you, I say. I have a SNP, a genetic SNP that basically, when it comes to collagen synthesis, there's a few issues there, and I can get injuries like connective tissue injuries. So I have to be very careful. So I usually keep the fat-soluble vitamins a bit higher in my case because of those, and try and get all this gelatinous material and stuff like that, connective tissue and whatever for our animal products, because I need to combine it with my collagen degrading enzymes and regulate them properly with good levels of fat soluble vitamins. So yes. So look, if you've got those sort of issues and easier tears and all that, up your fat soluble vitamins is the trick, so keep that in mind. Let's get back to the Paul and Sean Baker conversation. He's talking commercially raised pork through. It's not much. Oh, God almighty. Look, the amount of PUFA in a commercially raised pork, what about the eggs? 25 eggs a day, the guy that was eating them. 17.5 grams of PUFA, and primarily most of those eggs would have been, caged eggs. He wouldn't have been having pastured eggs he's living, he's a pensioner. You think he can afford high quality pastured eggs? No, he'd be using low quality. That's why I use it as an example of a paradox, 17.5 grams, mostly omega-6 PUFA. Not a problem. Outlived his parents. Remember when I was discussing it? So I'm not convinced, in animals and in, it's less of an issue. Even I'm even less convinced now, even with chicken, even though I think that chicken, it doesn't incorporate as well, but I'm still not convinced even with chicken. I've been looking at some of the information recently, and there seemed to be sufficient, vitamin E and all that to sort of provide some level of protection. It's just the amount is sort of it's much higher. So you've got 3 grams where, it's 3 against, it's 6 times sort of the difference between pork and but then there is 3 times better profile between lamb. But even with chicken, I'm not that as concerned as, as a lot of people are. But I wouldn't actually make it my general food. But then again, you look at basically some of the Southeast Asian nations, some of those populations, and I know people that have lived into old age and consume, their primary meat is chicken and fish, because they won't eat pork because they're Muslim. And, you go to Indonesia, you go to Malaysia and places like that, and there's old people I know that basically will eat a small amount of rice, a small amount of veggies, and a lot of, chicken and fish. So, as I said, I'm not convinced about all this sort of nonsense that's been exploding. Yes, I've missed it all. I've been enjoying I've been looking at some hominin stuff and some stuff on some of the other species that have been looked at, and some of the older empires like the Assyrian Empire, Babylonian Empire, and some of their intrigues, and how certain climatic things have changed in their environment that sort of allowed certain tribal groups like the Indo-Europeans, the Hittites, coming in, and how they unbalanced certain things. And yeah, it's quite interesting. I've been sort of enjoying that side of things at this stage. But yes, I should probably get back into some of this sort of stuff, so I'm up to date with some of the politics. He's raising money for he is. You've seen my link on my discussion page on my channel. I've actually got a link to the study, to support the study, so people can go via that and actually support the study. Please do. I think Sean's a great asset for the community, and trying to push some of the science and all that sort of stuff to help the community. Just had freshly made Kaiser pork belly. Beautiful. beautiful. I actually got a good recipe from my Chinese friend. She basically, when it comes to, pork belly and a few stuff, so I took some photos of some of the stuff that she puts in. So I'm looking at trying some Chinese recipes soon. Exactly. Okinawa pork well fed. Well, relatively. Pigs are pigs. They'll eat anything. Yeah, exactly. Oreo package, they'll throw anything to the pigs, all their scraps and all that. As I said, I'm not convinced because the evidence doesn't show that. And we've got a long association with piglets, which we hunted. Even the chimps hunt piglets. You've seen my chimp studies and stuff that I've actually shown you. They hunt little piglets. So we've had these PUFA type foods, if you could, let's use that classification just as one way to differentiate a bit with other ruminants for millions of years, even before we're talking about from early hominins. So I would say three, including the chimps, probably quite a few other additional millions of years of separation, 5-10 millions of years of separation. I would say that's a long time to acquire the genetics to basically be able to deal with the fatty acid profile of these animals, wouldn't you say? Yeah, if we can acquire some level of small adaptation to certain plants after a much smaller amount of time, so I would say we would have good adaptation. And we shouldn't be using rat studies to determine our dietary approach. Why? Because rats are very poor converters of LA to AA. So, I think he's barking up the wrong tree. That's why he uses all these rat studies continuously. And I go, oh, another rat study. Oh, fuck off, Paul. It's a rat study. It's shit. Stop confusing the waters or meddling, or pushing shit. As far as I'm concerned, it is shit on shit. Neither could I. God. My father primarily eats pork. He'll have a bit of beef. He'll have a bit of, I've never seen him hardly ever eat chicken. He's 85, great health, vibrant man. And his primary foodies, and even my Chinese friend, she goes, God, your father for 85, he's got such clean skin and really, and he's got better skin than you. I said, oh, probably because I don't eat as much pork as he does. Dad nearly eats, primarily pork and fish. That's mostly in his diet. He doesn't really consume a lot of the other meats as much. He's not a big beef eater. I don't think he likes it that much. Oh, yes. The amigos here, especially this amigo and this amigo. Blinky knows AA. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the other AA. Yeah, that AA. I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, it is. It is very good, arachidonic acid. Let's not forget, there is more omega-6 in terms of, in the brain, as terms of arachidonic acid in the brain, than what there is DHA. Remember, the PUFA part, 55% is the omega-6. Only 45% is the omega-3. So we always focus on the DHA because everybody, it's all, all the gurus. I'm a guru. I'm a naturopathic guru. It's all about DHA. For fuck's sake, both. They're essential fatty acids. They're essential for the brain. They're essential for all this tissue and all that. So, it's only when they're damaged. It's no different than LDL or cholesterol is necessary, or the lipoprotein is necessary. But if it's damaged, as we know, through lipid peroxidation because you've put a whole lot of vegetable oil into your body, or you've glycated your lipids with a whole lot of sugar, highly refined sugar, especially the highly glycating fructose type, honey, refined sugars, high fructose stuff, 7 times more glycating than basically glucose. It's much better for you, isn't it, Paul? No, fuck no. So he's more concerned about he's less concerned about glycating with a high amount of honey, which would be seasonal and very hard to get occasionally. So he's more fine with that. But you eat pork, well, for fuck's sake, the world will end. Exactly. He's completely wrong. And if he wants to debate, I'll debate him anytime on it. It's arachidonic acid. LA will convert to arachidonic acid. We do have genes that will convert to that, specifically. I will have to do something in the future on that. I did have somewhere. Yeah, God, trying to find things is always a bit of a hassle for me. Where did I have it? No idea. It's not that one. Not this one. Oh, can't find it. Yeah, I'll try and remember next time, and I'll put the SNPs up and the genes that convert, the conversion genes. Anyway, so some will say that LA and ALA are the essential fatty acids, but I would say AA and DHA are the essential ones. And, but, you just have to look. Who are saying LA and ALA are the essentials? Well, people that want to basically tell you to eat walnuts all day, who are the vegetarian. So I'd ignore them. It's like basically people saying, well, you need MK7, from NATO for your K2. But they don't, but seem to forget that most poor converters, a third of the population have no conversion. Why would you not get something in in retinol form or MK4 form or arachidonic acid or basically DHA in the forms where the body doesn't even have to convert, doesn't have to transcript any enzymes, so it doesn't have to go through utilizing additional energy and reserves and all that to build these enzymes to basically, hydrolyze, I won't use the word hydrolyze, but in order to basically break down and utilize this material that's coming in. So why would you consider that I'm going to really do it the hard way? I'm not going to basically take it through DHA or arachidonic acid. I'm just going to go to the plant form and I'm going to force my body to use additional resources to convert it. It's like, somebody says, here it is, it's ready. And then you go, I don't want that. I know it's ready. I want it basically, it's preformed. I want it broken down like you've got a piece of furniture and somebody gives you a complete piece of furniture and says, here you go. You can use this now to put your coffee cup on. You go, no, the fuck way. Get rid of that. And you want something which is basically sealed in parts and all that. So you have to assemble it. Takes you hours. Your coffee's getting cold before you can actually lay it on that table that you assemble. That's the sort of logic that, we're getting from some of these people. I'm going, ugh. Then they wonder why they've got brain fog or they're giving the rest of us headaches. I feel like a migraine's coming on. Yep, they are. They definitely are. Saladino was crying about the poofer in the chicken too. I'm not surprised. Did he get a chicken a chicken wing or sorry, a chicken bone stuck in his throat? Must have been. Yes, yes. Too much. Exactly. Oh, that's why I love you. I bet, and I bet he basically talked about those rats, those poor fucking rats that are basically being fed all that animal poofer. Oh, horrendous. Those poor rats, you know. I weep for the rats, and I can understand. I would be lamenting and I would be basically in tears about those poor rats. Sean, still alive, although red meat would give him a heart attack. That's nonsense. Obviously, yes. We only have to look at we can ignore the science because it actually isn't science. Science is something which is replicatable, proven. Anybody can replicate it. Anybody can do it over time, and you will get a similar result. That's what science is. What these people are doing is pseudoscience. So it's all epidemiology, all association stuff, all junk science. Oh, this rat, which has got a completely different physiology and genes that we have. We don't have the same genes as for rats. We don't, operate in the same way. Our uric acid works very differently. They produce vitamin C. They don't produce a lot of uric acid. There's a lot of things in the physiology which is completely different. And I still scratch my head why we continue doing these junk, sort of studies on rats. All we've achieved is we're really up to date on rat physiology. That's what we've achieved. We really understand rats very well, But it's like saying I understand a ruminant and I'm going to basically compare a ruminant with a human or another carnivore. You can't look at cow physiology and understand a lion. You've got to look at a lion. This is what happens when you look at veterinary science. They don't research a dog to understand a cat. They research a cat. To understand a dog, they research a dog. To understand a lion, they research a lion. You cannot research another animal and from there extrapolate on us. That's ridiculous. It's nonsense. It just basically means that these things, when you do them to a rat, these are the consequences. But then when they do clinical studies on humans, they don't find the same results. Why? Oh, obviously because we're different. Yes. Sean has been quite of late. No, has he? I don't know. Haven't been watching. Suffering. That's a troll comment if you haven't understood that, WT. Actually, Sean's been consuming more fat, which is good. Actually, it's a really good development on his part. And I'm glad to see him basically moving, to put more fat into his diet. Great. We've got something from Lucas. Hold on. Need to change. Zoom out. Zoom out a bit more. This one's good. This one's really good. I love it. I love it. Yes. Always has been, mate. But it's animal. Mediterranean diet. Yeah. That is kokoretsi. That's organ meats wrapped in the intestine of the animal. Oh, I love that. I used to have that for lunch sometimes nearly, that and a bit of souvlaki on a stick, which is skewered pork meat. Yes, you got the yogurt there. The only thing, our yogurt's so much thicker than that. I'll just let you know. And most of our cheeses are white cheeses. We do have some darker cheeses in some of the mountainous areas, some of the, and some hard cheeses as well, like Kefalo Raviera, which is one of them. So, yes. Look, as I've pointed out, we're sometimes consuming more milk than the Swiss, sometimes less. Depends on the year when the stats are taken. So we're pretty much, yes, these are the sort of foods we tend to eat. And that's right. And I've always enjoyed that. Up in the village, my dad's twin brother, because they go out and fishing, because he lives off fishing. And I remember, my auntie used to, just cook up a whole lot of sardines, and the little sardines as well. God, I just used to sit there just eating one after another like mad back then when I was a youngster. And then I came back to Australia in the mid-'80s, and I was told that all that food was bad for me. And I started getting rid of it and getting more plant-based as we all transitioned to more seed oils and plants and all that. And I thought I was doing good for my health. But I was killing myself, unfortunately. Yes. Yes, if I was a dictator, I'd force them to eat raw meat. I love it. All the vegetarian there being forced to eat raw meat. I'm a bad carny, aren't I? Such an evil carny. Just waiting for posts. Sauna Jared. Please. Bart's Discord. It's Bart doing. Told him to basically take it easy. Told him to go and sleep it off. I usually, when I get a really bad cold and all that, I literally go for a 12-hour sleep. I force myself to sleep. I just switch off all food, everything. I just under the blankets for 12 hours, and it usually gets rid of it. It really sorts it out. There's nothing like rest. He's not resting. He's basically, running around, feeling sorry for himself, and driving Pim up the wall. Okay, still alive and kicking. Wouldn't be surprised. It would require much more lethal stuff to get rid of Bart. He's pretty tough. Have just argued since each other wants to argue on their podcast. I think it's just marketing, possibly. Look, I don't think on Sean's part it is. I think Sean does truly believe that animal foods are not a problem. That this is just a big beat up. I think it's probably from Paul, it's probably marketing. I'd have to agree. Cake and whiskey. Not sure. What's that about? Bit confused. Is that in regards to Bart? No, be booze. Humor about the truth and the old beliefs of eating organ meats to help organs. Look, there is some validity to eating, because some of the nutrients, that means the vitamins and minerals, the micronutrient combinations that are found in certain, like I'll give you an example. When it comes to dealing with fatty liver or dealing with, you need choline to export fat. What's your highest source of choline? It's going to come from liver and eggs, but liver. You need basically coenzyme Q10 to support mitochondrial function. So where do you find the highest concentration of mitochondria? In the heart. Where do you find the majority of coenzyme Q10? In the heart. So eating heart will support a stronger heart in a sense by providing more coenzyme Q10. You could supplement, but you're getting it from an animal food, which is much healthier, way more natural, easier to incorporate. So I think there is some truth in that, and this is why ancient people basically used to cut up the animal, nose to tail, all the organs and all that. And this is why our kukuretsi is all these. I've shown you in the past where the grill philosophy guys literally cut up all the different organs and put it on a skewer and then wrap it with the intestine and then basically put it over coal and sort of cook it. So I think there's a lot of health in combining that. I say to some people that they don't want to go to all that trouble, go for giblets, chicken giblets, because you get all the different organs in small, it's like a small package, and you can basically just stir fry that in lard and have giblets. Some people say they're a bit tough, and they are, to be honest, they are. So what I usually recommend to people is they either cut them up, like the Asians do. They slice them and dice them into small little bits, or you could actually get like a mincer and just mince them, combine them with mincemeat and create patties, organ meat type patties with organ meats, 50% organ meat, 50% mincemeat. So there's a lot of different ways you can actually get organ meats into your diet from a number of different sources of animals. The other thing is when it comes to the livers of birds, and we're not talking about this bird, that would be basically quite damaged and not very healthy. So, so pretty much when it comes to, it's much higher in MK4. You take a look, emu oil, very high in MK4. Goose liver pate, very high in MK4. So there is an argument to get some of these chicken giblets or giblets from other birds like geese, ducks and stuff like that. There is an argument getting from some of these other animals some additional, and there is the nutrient profile. You won't get really high levels of copper or really high levels of retinol in these foods as well, which is good. So you can have them on a more regular basis, like a lot of the Asians do. Very good to keep good levels of high levels of both fat-soluble vitamins and a number of different important minerals. So, and other micronutrients. So now I've lost my spot. Where the fuck am I? Lucas is having a mental barrier when it comes to, the patties, mate. You need to get the patties, mental barrier. Oh, with raw beef. Easy. Slice it up really thin, like the Japanese do, and salt it and have it that way. It'll be much easier to consume. Because it'll be a bit like salami or stuff like that. But I actually like my meat a bit bloody. So, but that's me. Yeah, they are. I love sardines. Actually, down at the waterfront, God, I usually go. I just can't get small ones. They usually only have the really large ones. I don't mind those, but I really like the really small ones. and actually fry them in lard. So you put lard and you stir fry them in lard, and then oh God, salt and pepper. Oh God, I can go through a whole plate full. Yes, I can pig out. Yes, yes. Getting used to it. Honestly, after trying raw liver and getting used to it, I can't have it cooked. That's what a number of people say. If it's really like it hasn't been sitting around, it's really fresh. It's actually, it's not as pungent, especially if it's from a young animal. It's not as pungent, and some people do enjoy it. I mean, I've had a bit, but it's not sort of my sort of, but each to their own. And don't forget the salt. Yes, yes, I'm losing track of where I am. No, not really on a regular basis or anything like that. I did have some yesterday. So at my mate's place, so I had some. But it's not something that I really, Saturday for me is one of those funny days. I go and have a barbecue with my mate after we've had our long walk and all that, even though it was sort of, so it's usually cheeses, meats. His gorgonzola sauce, which is a mushroom type sauce that he puts over the meat. And so that's, gorgonzola cheese, which has got that blue cheese in it. Anyway, so that sort of stuff. And he had, some pickled cucumbers. He does sort of low carb. He had some pickled cucumbers and olives. I had a few of both. So, I mean, those are sort of my little planting discretions. They're not necessary, I agree. But, a bit here or there is not going to kill you. Probably olives are probably the cucumber was probably better than the olives, in the sense that olives, you don't want to consume a lot of them. If you're going to, a bit here and there, like traditionally we used to, like we'd have a bit in a salad, you throw a few olives, which is what you do in a sort of a Greek salad. But it's, you don't sit there consuming massive amounts because they do have oxalates. So olive oil doesn't, but they do. Going back, I think I've missed a couple of people. Me too, John. Hello. Any thoughts about the body's ability to clean out, replace seed oils over time? Low dose vitamin E takes about anywhere between 4 to 6 years, depending on your prior consumption, and up to a decade. So the Jarrow, if you check some of my other live streams, I've actually got a link to the Jarrow sort of. Just quickly, just give me a sec. Let me find it. And where is it? I always bring up the other shit first. Okay. Let me put that up there on screen. Share. Please don't die. And this is the one here that is the only one I recommend to people. No other, because it's palm oil based. Because some of the other vitamin E's, one, they're too high in the amount. And this has got the proper complex, the proper palm oil complex, which is really important. So it's got the tocopherols and the tocotrienols in a good combination. So it's got the tocotriols, the D alpha, the D beta, the D gamma, and the D delta, which is what occurs naturally in palm oil. So, and the tocopherol, it has, a low dose, which is 90%, which is good. That's what you want. You don't want too much. Can create imbalances, as I've mentioned in the past. So this is the only one that I recommend to be taken to deal with stored PUFA that's damaged in one way or another, to deal with it as it's, you're either losing it. And this is another thing that a lot of people don't realize. Traditionally, you would store fat as palmitate primarily. This is what the body does. It will take any excess energy, convert it to palmitate, store it in your fat cells. That's what it was supposed to do. Unfortunately, now we consume inappropriate. We consume things which are used as structural material, like the omega-3s and the omega-6s. And those are structural materials or act as signaling molecules. They're not there really. They're really, especially the omega-6s, one, you can't oxidize, burn in the mitochondria. We use the term oxidize, scientific term. You can't oxidize the omega-3s, the DHA, but you can the omega-6s. The problem is the ones from the seed oils can really cause havoc and damage and massive reactive oxygen species in the mitochondria. That means damaging the electron chains. So they are very damaging as a source of energy. So we definitely don't want these highly damaged vegetable oils in our diet, but they are incorporated in our tissues. They are in our fat cells. So when you start losing weight, what happens? You start dumping this shit. And then people wonder why. They scratch their head. They go, I'm on a keto diet. I'm losing weight. Why am I inflamed? Well, because your body is dumping all this shit out of your fat cells into your bloodstream. That's why. And that is why I always say to people, if you're on a low-carb diet and you've come from a SAD diet, you need this supplement to deal with the dumping of that stored PUFA. So, yes, get some of this. Definitely. Anyway, I think I've killed it to death, the thing about vitamin E and seed oils and plant-based PUFA. I'll probably have to do a fucking video on this because I keep on telling people and people keep on asking me the same question. So my fault, and I will have to. Is that Jared there? Yeah, yes, it is. You're on the bottom. I've narrowed the damn thing. What, he's got a haircut? Fuck out. Fuck your mate.
No, same as last week, just growing in.
Okay.
I went to my hairdresser and I said, give me the hairy Serpanos. And
so it wasn't a lawnmower job.
No, not quite. No, it was a weed whacker job.
Nothing like a whippersnipper. Shell would understand what I mean. Let's move on.
So yeah, how about
Before-
that vitamin E with the mixed tocopherols that I also have that one from Jarrow
Yes,
that I take.
yes.
Yep.
It's a very good brand. It's palm oil based. Look, I say to people, you can use palm oil. If you get like from South America, organic, from a proper source that's been done properly, you could use that as well. But this just makes it easy. It's a low dose. You're getting the right sort of combination and all that. It's really, it's a no-brainer, so to speak. That's why I usually say to people, go to this. It's a no-brainer. Because if you're getting like palm oil, then you have to work out the dosages and all that, and it becomes messy. It's like having a tub of coconut oil and trying to work out the measurements and all that with a spoon. You know what I mean? It just, yeah. But it's, as I said, it's up to people which way they go. I never tell people anyway. Blinkers needs definitely to eat polar. We don't want to kill Blinkers by, making him, because he's in the southern hemisphere. He's not getting much vitamin D, and he'd get really a lot of imbalance in his fat soluble vitamins. It would be a real problem. Now he probably needs a bear hug. That's a different thing altogether. He could do with a bear hug. Couldn't you, Blinkers? Beef liver smells like a monkey in the zoo. So I suspect when you're having your beef liver, you scratch yourself.
Is monkey in the zoo a euphemism?
Yes. I'm just monkeying around.
Monkey in the zooing around?
That's it. Lamb liver is nice. Yes, it's easier to peck, isn't it? What's this? Good idea, Harry. Thinly sliced, salted. Yep. You got to find a way that it's palatable and easy to consume. Like anything. In lard, yes. Buy yourself some lard. I've never tried in ghee. I don't know how it would go with ghee, but I know with lard, sardines, those small little sardines in lard as a stir fry, really nice. But yes, could try it with other things. I've never tried it with tallow or ghee or butter, but I've stir fried sardines in basically lard. So remember lard, because you're combining a really good thing. Lard, you're combining a really good fatty acid profile, whatever Paul says, ignore. And on the other hand, you're also combining, your omega-6s, your omega-3s with the sardines, really nice. And it's also very low in aldehyde compared to even tallow. So less aldehydes compared to all the other stuff. And the other things, low in deuterium. And what's also omega-3s? 102, low in deuterium. It's what a food. And you wonder why people have longevity in Okinawa and areas like that, where they're consuming fish, but not a lot, but primarily lard. So they've got they're in and a lot of low glycemic vegetables, which tend to have less deuterium. They're in that really the bottom of the range of the sweet spot. That is why they're living longer. They got those nanomotors working, as my dear friend Luke would understand, working in high efficiency into old age.
So did you touch on the Saladino Sean Baker bullshit yet?
Yeah, we've chatted about it, and I had my little rant earlier. You missed it?
Sorry, I missed it. Yeah. No, good. It was funny to watch them going back and forth.
Oh, God. Yeah, I suspect. How many rat studies did Saladino get through?
I'm not sure.
It would have been an army of rat studies.
I just saw Baker quoting Saladino about saying that he eats about 250 grams of honey a day spread over two meals, and then Saladino immediately correcting it, saying, "No, that was a misprint. I actually only have about half of that." And
even if he's having half of that,
yeah, that's still
fructose is 7 times more glycating than glucose.
right.
I would rather have rice than basically honey. You know,
Yeah.
It was a seasonal thing in the summer when you've got more UV to deplete the deuterium from the product. But 2, also the other important thing is people got very little because wild bees, it's very hard to get honey off them. And when you did get a bit of honey, you'd share it with everybody, a small amount of sweetness. It was a treat. You know, it wasn't basically, let me see how much I can guzzle down.
Yeah, he's good at synthesizing information. He gets so much right that, in my estimation anyway, that I'm very surprised to see him fall on the wrong side of this issue so dogmatically.
He's doubling down. That's why he doesn't want to admit that he's wrong.
Yeah,
it's egos. That's all it is. It's egos. But it doesn't help the community.
I agree with the sentiment of his argument that it makes more like eat a species appropriate diet, and ideally eat foods that are also fed a species appropriate diet. That's definitely going to be better. Pastured pork is definitely better.
Precisely.
But I don't buy that corn-fed pork is dangerous specifically because of the fatty acid profile.
That's garbage. It's nonsense. Compared to rancid seed oils and compared to refined sugars, I mean, give us a break.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, we've got a lot of people have got good conversions of LA to arachidonic acid. So, you know, if you go from linoleic acid to arachidonic acid and you've got good gene conversion, which a large part of the population around the world does have, because we lived in the tropics and we also had access to piglets. The chimps have access to piglets. Millions of years of hominins had access to piglets. You think you would have a good adaptation, wouldn't you, compared to a rat?
Mm.
You know? So how many fucking millions of years does it take to adapt to eating these sort of animals? Please tell me. And you think that these animals are not eating... Pigs will eat anything. They'll eat fruit and whatever else. You think that they weren't in the summer periods eating a whole lot of fruit that had fallen on the ground under trees? I've seen pigs do that in the wild. And then people eating them? Do you think their profile isn't going to be like slightly skewed in those months? Give us yeah. I can blow away all his arguments so quickly because they are nonsense. And the problem is he's doubled down and doubled down. I can use basically the high PUFA from animal products, like from eggs, that he ignores. That guy, 25 eggs a day, outlived his parents. 17.5 grams, primarily omega-6, which is in eggs. You know, you have to explain these paradoxes, and he can't. You know, and that's why basically I would decimate him within a couple of minutes if I was in an argument with him, because, and first of all, I'd turn around and say, Paul, you can't use rat studies. The physiology isn't the same, and I'd explain exactly why, which is the genetic SNPs. They don't work the same. So stop using those as examples. So that argument would be it would blow the entire edifice of his argument, which is based on animal research, in particular, little furry little rat studies. That's his arguments, and he would lose very quickly. But then he would probably double down and make a whole lot of spurious claims and continue. You know, it's like talking over somebody.
So does he acknowledge at all that the PUFA from animals is different than PUFA from plants?
Exactly.
I'm not sure if he acknowledges that at all, does he?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
So he literally thinks that you're getting the same thing from animals as you get from rancid seed oil.
You're not. It's not the same. This is where the confusion lies. And it's not him only. You go through an army of naturopathic doctors and everybody else, and they have the same opinion because they've grown up on research, which is contaminated research. Bart understands this. It's contaminated research. He's been through academia. He's seen it, where they use the wrong, the example that I use about the bacon. And I need to fucking make that thing as well and show that. But the most important thing, I'll try and find the study, because I've got it on the other computer, and I'll get it on my memory stick. I'll put it on this, and I'll actually have it open, and I'll leave it open for the entire friggin' week, so I can actually show you guys next week. Okay? About those rats and the bacon and stuff like that. But it's irrelevant because it's a rat again. But it's just to prove a point, to make a point more than anything else. But it's still irrelevant, because we cannot compare our physiology. If you're studying, as I said earlier, if you're studying a lion, you do lion science and on the lion physiology. If you're doing on a ruminant, you're doing ruminant physiology. If you're doing on a bear, you're doing bear. If you're doing on a fish, you're doing on a fish physiology. I'm not going to compare a sardine to a lion or to a cow and extrapolate from their physiology to these other animals. That's ridiculous. It's nonsense. The only thing I can do is toxic. I can say, if I give this drug or cyanide to this animal, will it die? They'll probably all die from these sort of things. And all I can prove is toxicity levels within those animals. I still can't prove. This is why they do studies in rats and stuff like that, to prove that a drug is safe for the rat, so it must be safe for the human. Then they have to do trials in humans, and in many cases, the majority of them fail. Why? Because human physiology is completely different to rat physiology. So when they do the clinical studies, they get the results that, bad side effects or whatever, and it just canned. So it's really just to basically make sure that the drug doesn't have severe side effects before it's tried on humans, and the drug doesn't have a lot of toxicity. Then they can move to clinical study trials on humans, and if things don't seem very good, they abandon them. So they've got their utility, but they can't basically either infer anything in us or basically point us towards good eating patterns for healthy humans. You've got to do studies in humans to basically show that whether something. And I look at the Okinawans. What do they say? We start pork in the morning and we finish pork in the evening. The day. They consume massive amounts. And a lot of it, sometimes even, like spam pork, they will throw it into meals. They eat, even processed pork meat. And these are people that basically have a lot of longevity that are still on their traditional diet. And as I said earlier about my Chinese friend who's Cantonese, she's from Hong Kong. And her family, her father, who's 80, he just eats pork most of the week. That's like my father, who's grown up on the same sort of food. So, and these are the most long-lived people, Sardinians, lard. When I look at these people and I'm going, how come these people are living longer? Am I going to basically say, no, you Okinawans are wrong, you Sardinians are fucking wrong, since basically this rat study is telling me differently? I will put the rat before the Sardinians or the Okinawans. That is nonsense to argue that point. We may not understand. As I said, I believe that basically the way the topopherals get incorporated and the tails, because they have different, trocosinal, tocoracinals or whatever. I always get, it's a tongue twister for me. And the topopherals, they actually incorporate, particularly the topopherals, they've got these long tails, and they incorporate themselves in the cell membranes. You've got to see them under an electron microscope, but that's how they look. And basically, they are electron donors. They go back and forth, making sure the lipids. So if you've got a bit of reactive oxygen species in the bloodstream, for instance, or gets in the cell and does a bit of damage here and there, the little tail will go around electron doning. And if you're in a low carb state, even better, because then you will have slightly higher glutathione, and glutathione will refresh, add back to the so it's, you have to contextualize it. These populations only eat like until they're 80% full, like the Okinawans. They fast, they do all these sort of things, the traditional people that are long lived. And as a consequence, by doing all these sort of activities, what do they achieve? They achieve a certain level of glutathione upregulation that refreshes and adds back the lost electron to those topopherals. I'll just use that one, make it easy for myself. And they'll continue doing their little merry job of electron doning and all that and dealing, because any food that you eat, it doesn't matter what it is, it can be the most benign fat or whatever, all stuff that gets oxidized in the actual in your mitochondria will create some level of byproducts and reactive oxygen species. It is part and parcel of living. Oxidation is unavoidable. Mm-hmm. The question is how it's managed. And you need the right sort of foods and the right sort of, fat soluble vitamins and and parts in the body to function properly. You can dump a whole lot of vitamin C in there. It's not going to help if you're eating a lot of sugary stuff and you're keeping glutathione very low, because all that vitamin C will turn into oxalate, and some of it will become as a pro-oxidant and do more damage. Mm-hmm. So you need to be in a more lower carb diet in order to basically, one, to be less glycating, so you're creating less of this damage anyway in the first place, and at the same time you've actually got sufficient glutathione to refresh and recycle these important antioxidants in your system. And it's the same thing what I usually say when people have got a lot of damage and all that. What do I always say? Get onto an R-alpha lipoic acid. Why? Because it is a massive electron donor. Mm-hmm. It's like it's got this massive ring of where it can donate so many electrons that it can actually refresh glutathione. It can refresh all the vitamin C, vitamin A, coenzyme Q10, all these things around the body can actually refresh them. And that's why I usually put people, I say, well, if they've explained that they're very, in a very bad state, I will put them on a R-alpha lipoic acid. It has to be the R version. Remember I talked about last week, the duality of nature? You don't want the S version, you want the R version, because that does the job. Anyway. Oh, Bart's on. Want to come on, mate? I'll send you a link if you're interested.
Do it. Harry, I want to selfishly ask a question about something specific that someone was asking me. There's a fellow who I was in contact with online who has a very low serum folate level, and he's not sure what to do about it or if it's even relevant for how it's measured.
Just to need proper food.
Yeah, I guess he's got 2.9 nanogram per milliliter when the reference range is like 4.8 to 24.2, and he says he eats a fair bit of egg yolks and liver. And I'm just not sure what direction would be helpful for him.
Look, the body usually, I usually say to people, you need to support both pathways. So the choline betaine pathway. Now, he may have an MTHFR issue. That means that he may have a requirement like I have for riboflavin. If you've got a requirement for riboflavin, that usually corrects both the folate issue. Mm-hmm. So you may be burning through quite a bit of folate, and riboflavin can actually sort that out. but I don't know his genetics. And that's why I usually recommend people doing genetic tests, because I can understand whether it's a deficiency, a true deficiency, or it's a riboflavin deficiency, not getting enough. And if you're eating animal foods, you should be getting sufficient riboflavin. So it could be other issues as well. The problem is when you supplement with methylfolate or high doses of methylfolate, what you do is you burn through massively B12, which isn't a good thing for your brain in the long run. So you've got to be very careful about these things, not to do something crazy in that regard. I usually say to people, push up your choline intake to 3 grams, and it usually sort of settles everything, because they may have higher levels of homocysteine that they need to deal with, and they're overtaxing their system. So that is another possibility. Unless I can see, some people sometimes send me their blood works, and I can actually see, oh, yeah, it's obvious what it is. Or I know their genetics, it's obvious what it is. But I'm just guessing now, in a sense. That's all I am doing.
Yeah, of course. I'm just hoping for a general direction to point him. So that sounds
good. Riboflavin and more choline, 3 grams, and 3 grams for at least 6 months to reduce. The other thing is he may also need a boron supplement. It depends, where some of his other biomarkers are and stuff like that. It can be a bit of an issue. So hard to say. I have sent you a link, Bart, if you want to come on. We don't mind if you cough a bit here and there. You're at a distance, so we're pretty safe.
So is Bart still under the weather?
Yeah, I think so. That's what somebody said. I spoke to him on that's his Facebook. What's he got there? Let me just bring that up. Oops, let me just turn that off, and I will share that. The Earth equals flat. It's round, and it rotates on its axis of 15 degrees per hour. Worst flat Earth debate ever. Can't imagine what else was said. We love it.
Yeah, I'm all for questioning authority based, especially when you start with an anomaly that is not well explained by the authority. I just don't see any compelling anomalies with flat Earth at all. at all.
No, it's just
largely seems to rely on a fundamental misunderstanding of vanishing points and a single point perspective. I say that as a photographer.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like rays that are basically, because of parallax, because of the sort of change in direction, they will subscribe certain things to them.
Yeah.
You just have to sit out anywhere on the planet, different parts of the day, and you can see your actual shadow changing, and you can actually make those calculations using trigonometry, basic Euclidean and work out exactly this sort of information. It's not rocket science. And I mean, if basically, what do you think seamen, mariners used to they would look at the horizon at the horizon to see the actual the top of a pirate ship or whatever popping up over the horizon. Mm-hmm. If it was flat, you wouldn't have that sort of view. Mm-hmm. I mean, were they in NASA as well at the time? I mean, this is the nonsense, I actually usually say I can put you on a weather balloon. I'm a bit devious and mischievous here, and I'll send you up, and you can see. I don't know how you'll survive after, but at least the last thing you'll see on the Earth is the curvature before you.
Sailors also had to take solar noon, but every day to help with calculating their position on changing curve, basically.
Exactly, precisely. Look, I've got mates that are actually yachties. Do you think basically they, when you actually, I send them sort of flat earth, they just laugh. They send me back laughs and stuff like that because they love it. It's just ridiculous. Anybody that's actually been at sea knows that it is complete and utter nonsense. You have to be a bird brain. I love you, T2. I love you, T2. You have to be a bird brain to basically believe, because it's trapezoid. You need to get a relativistic cone stuck on your head. That's what you need. The Mariners, yeah, exactly. Oh, look, it's just crazy stuff. Yep, exactly. Yep. Yes, we all have. And I fly quite often. I'm a very, prolific up until Corona hit, and as I'm now stranded and I can't get out of the state of Tasmania.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we're the only, everything else is round. Sounds very weird to me, very inconsistent. That would be a paradox, wouldn't it? A real paradox. God. It all depends on your line of sight, your eyes. I mean, we're humans, we're limited, But if you basically get binoculars, yes, you can see much better. So it's like saying I can't see the blue light part of the spectrum of the electromagnetic field, or I can't see certain parts of the electromagnetic field. Because I can't see them, they don't exist. That's complete nonsense. I can't see infrared, so infrared cannot exist. I'll start a new cult. Infrared is a myth. That's the sort of logic we're dealing with, unfortunately. That's why we use instrumentation to measure these things. Earth is a dragon egg, worshipped by lizard people, of course. Yes, it is. Our lizard friends. Yes, as I've pointed out, it is another myth of the ruling classes, and they enjoy this myth. They actually get a lot of laughs out of it. They've got their Ike mate, who's a very good friend of theirs. Yeah, well, he is. He's basically he basically is a member of the Guild of Lizards, and he basically supports these people by mythologizing them. As I said, it's nothing like the god kings of the past, the pharaohs and all that. You can't challenge a god. You can't challenge an alien being who's more advanced than you. And if you believe that sort of nonsense, you will never challenge them. And they will stay on top of you and they'll exploit you. So this is just a modern day myth of the equivalent of that, to keep the commoners at bay. So don't be duped. I'm still waiting to see the flat Earth lunar eclipse. Yeah, never going to happen. You'll be waiting for a very long time.
What is the flat Earth explanation for a lunar eclipse?
I've got no idea. Look,
my question for flat Earthers
makes sense.
I've consistently asked flat Earthers when I encounter them. Right? I don't really like to label them flat Earthers, I guess. I've consistently asked people who believe in flat Earth why we observe a different celestial map at night. Why there are different stars on the northern and southern hemisphere.
Exactly.
And they don't have I've never gotten an answer to that question.
Well, these people aren't. These people, you know, you heard the other guy that actually Bart had on. That person seemed like a low IQ person to me. Just the way they were talking.
Mm.
They don't have an answer because it's, it's pseudo knowledge, pseudo science, or pseudo crap. It's no different than people back in the Middle Ages that believed in basically they saw angels and demons and stuff like that. Half the population is below the average IQ. They are susceptible to this nonsense, unfortunately. We have evolved beyond that point of where we had even larger proportions of the population that believed in this nonsense. Now they're a minority, thankfully, because we're much more enlightened compared to the Middle Ages. But there are still a few that haven't evolved, unfortunately. It's just funny. It's a giant omelette. It could be. Just think of it, wrapped with bacon. Oh God! There he is. There he is.
Hey, Bart.
Hello. How are we doing?
Yes. We need a basically an omelette-sized Earth with bacon.
Yep, sounds good to me.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So what's happening?
Oh, we're just having a bit of fun.
Apparently, we're mocking Bart with his own words on screen in front of him.
Awesome.
Hey,
Good.
Somebody needs to take the mickey out of you.
Wow, exactly. Yeah.
If it's not me, who else?
Well,
Actually, now you're in a weakened state. Bird brain and my dear friend T1.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Froggy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look here, sucking up already. God almighty. Talk about suck.
Yeah. What's going on, Harry?
Oh, we're just having a bit of fun, mate. We're just having a bit of fun talking about a few things. The flat Earth stuff variety did come up.
Yep.
But our primary focus was on a few other things.
Sure.
We did talk about the Sean Baker and Paul Saladino sort of scuffle or rumble in the carny world.
I don't know anything about it. I haven't followed anything in the last bit.
Yeah. Pretty much. Paul's been using his rat studies again about his animal poofer arguments and confusing seed oils with animal fats in some way, and then you've got on the other side Sean that's I'm in full agreement with, and I hope Ted is as well. Ted, you are in agreement with Sean, aren't you? Good. Otherwise, they'd be held to pay.
He said he'd never disagree with Sean. Who would clean up the mess?
That's true.
Dr. Baker mad.
Exactly.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Oh, that must have hurt.
And
Lucas is actually watching.
Yeah, I'm sure. I got up and went out the front of the house and had to sweep some leaves, and I did that for 3 or 4 strokes of the broom, and I was absolutely fucked. Like, okay, you're not getting any fucking oxygen in here, are you?
No, you're
not. Yeah, got some goodly colours going on in the old capillary nail beds. So yeah, awesome.
You need to up your vitamin D, mate.
Yeah. There's some sunshine for the first time today in a while, and so I thought I'd celebrate by sitting inside and talking to you two fuckers.
Get yourself a bit of salmon as well in the mate.
Yeah, there's a bit of that in the fridge waiting for me for later, I think.
Sounds good.
Nice pink bits. We all like our pink bits, don't we, Harry?
That's exactly. you seen have you seen the new one that Sky's done on Richard Burgess?
No, I haven't. I've seen nothing, Harry, in the last few days.
He's pimping his wife, and he's got I think his thumb, is it, stuck in his partner's or his wife's rear end, and he's put that up on the some sort of site for people to basically pay. Then he had to go at Frankie in the past to pay to basically look at this stuff.
Right. So
God Almighty,
that's completely different.
What is going on with the YouTube?
Well, I think Richard might be struggling.
I don't want to call it nutrition community, but
Richard might be struggling for views, maybe. So he thought, oh well, maybe they'd like to see me thumb Jasmine in the anus. What the fuck?
Crazy stuff.
Or maybe it's just he's just run out of places to look for the source of his depression.
Yeah.
Is it in here? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, very smelly. Maybe he's doing the chimp thing, you know. Coprophagy, you know, the chimping.
Yep. The study of fossilized shit.
Or eating it. You need to get those extra nutrients in.
Oh, those ones. You mean that stuff? You mean those?
That's what I'm talking about, mate.
Oh,
you know me.
Right.
Go. I just headed right for the gutter. You know,
right.
No stop.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh God.
I didn't know about this, and I'm supposed to, ostensibly sleep within the next hour or two. So, thanks a bunch for that.
Hey, that will be. You'll have nightmares.
There's definitely a thumb up your ass joke about that. Like, Richard can't just sit around with his thumb up his own ass, I guess. So
that's it.
At least he has someone else to.
Nice one, bird brain.
Or his thumb in. B12 supplement, yeah.
I don't know. What is wrong with your supporters, Harry? They are a sick bunch of motherfuckers.
They are sick, especially these two. Absolutely sick as fuck.
Yes, man, that's hate speech.
Yep.
I'm reporting this video. I can't be a part of this.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
Yes, they've really doubled down, these two. Uncontrollable.
Well, you've got to control your classroom, Harry.
Oh,
throw the odd bit of chalk, son.
That's what I've got. Shell, take the whip. Take the whip to these two. What is the pig doing this stink?
I usually hear it the other way around, but
I was going to hazard a guess that Shell would be more interested in the other way around. But
far be it from me to judge the proclivities of Shell.
Yeah, and there you go. She's just said it, just as I said it. Exactly.
I don't know, Shell. I think you have to tell us.
She wouldn't have to tell me twice.
Whip.
Fuck. So yeah, did I tell you two boys that I've been harassing Shell ever since she told me that she bought one of my T-shirts from the merchandise shop? I've been harassing her to send me.
I have noticed that joke as a running theme.
Oh, I finally got the picture. So thank you, Shell.
Oh, you did.
I did. I got it. Yeah. Awesome.
Was it everything that you hoped for?
No, because I did stipulate wet, and it came with a dry photo. But nonetheless, the end result was we got the photo of the Fine support crew wearing the Fine support T-shirt.
Good.
And I got another one from someone else during the week of someone wearing a Meat Militia T-shirt, just out and about somewhere. Hey, look at this. So.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I thought you meant like you're now like fielding requests for people making it T-shirts.
Well, sure, if you like, Jared. If you feel you want to wear one of my T-shirts,
do I get a discount on the shirt?
If you wet it, probably.
Then we could Then we could basically get a collage.
I'll give it to you at cost. How's that?
Oh.
Was there another photo? Well, I didn't get 2 photos, Shell. I only got 1. Come on now. Where's my other photo? Hey? Where's my photo?
You know where that's going? Yes. It's don't go there. Don't go there. Bad hand.
Come on, Harry.
I only just noticed that Yellow Ted has called you his bitch for this stream, Bart.
Yep. He's making himself known. God, have you seen how he behaves on my other new channel? Goodness me, he's been appalling this week.
He's been mate. He's been literally dragging you by the ear.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
God Almighty. You know, he's a very tough teacher.
Yeah,
I think you're quite right to only allow him to whisper silently in your ear, and then
exactly. If I repeated half of what he said, that channel would be in trouble as well. I can tell you.
Right.
No, let's close
maybe I
it
would
down.
get more viewers, but that's not the point, Yellow Ted. Goodness.
Let's close it down.
Shut down your channel.
Library doesn't have those limitations. Just saying.
No, they don't. They have other limitations, but we're working on it. Well, they are.
Technological ones.
I mean, library's set up to handle tons of porn too, right? So there's probably going to be some channels that'll do both.
Yep, sure.
Oh, Richard will be there.
I think it might be the other way around for Richard.
Just search for library, thumb sucker.
Dear, oh dear.
Very inquisitive of you, T1. He wants details.
Right.
Yeah. And you wouldn't be surprised, you know. He's sick mind where it goes.
Yeah.
Who is this third guy?
You mean the person struggling to breathe?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He definitely is.
Well, when Richard provides us so generously with such ample fodder for shitty conversation,
exactly.
Far be it from us not to take advantage of it.
Where is Bird Brain? He's gone quiet.
He's gobsmacked or big smacked.
Probably.
He's watching. Yeah. He's watching. What's her name? Jasmine. Watching her OnlyFans or whatever it is.
I tell you what, if Fappers was here, he would have found us a URL by now and put it up on the screen, wouldn't he?
That's true.
Where are you, Fappers, when we need you? Jesus, boy.
Nutrition or porn channel. It's a nutritious porn or porn.
Exactly.
Whichever you prefer.
We're very eclectic here.
Yeah. Oh, who would pay to see Yellow Ted dishing out the biz?
Go to Bart's Patreon.
Yep.
You know,
yep, that's all covered there.
Send him some money, and he'll organise something with Ted.
No, I'll probably organise something with my psychiatrist, I think. That's probably what I should do first. Anywho, it's all good for now. Maybe
Sure.
I'll actually asphyxiate, and then that'll solve everything. Fuck.
Sure. Do you need to ask?
She barks and issues instructions if you've watched any amount of their videos. That
Exactly.
I haven't I don't think I've ever even seen her, but I'm not sure I need to now. I'm happy to have a blank spot in my mental image of Richard with his fat thumb up somebody's ass.
It's probably the best pronoun you could probably use is her. Rather than her, it's a her.
Yeah. Is Jasmine a superwoman? A better than a woman? A trans woman?
Even Richard's supporters have a nickname for her, and it's Harry, as in Harry Potter. So,
really?
Yeah.
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
So is Richard's partner trans? I don't know.
Well, no.
I was gonna say, because didn't he get a vasectomy?
He did, but that was to do with his disdain for children more than anything else.
Right.
And which I completely
his self-loathing for others definitely does not start with himself, right?
Look, I've got plenty of things that I would argue with Richard about. My disdain for children would not be one of them. They are horrendous little parasites, every one of them. But that said,
they're a necessary parasite for the.
He recently, this is Richard. Richard recently posted on his Twitter feed a picture of them together a few years ago, with the sort of message on there that Jasmine is currently going through a transition and from now on would like to be known as Harry. Now that was an in-joke with his people who call her that already anyway. Obviously, that was Richard's idea of humor, but to the rest of us, that's just fucking gold, isn't it? We didn't have to make this shit up. We didn't have to Photoshop this shit. He posted it on his fucking Twitter feed. He made the thing. So, yeah. Anyway. There you go.
Well,
yeah.
Yes, he definitely was getting a good sniff.
That certainly takes the wins out of Vegan Games' sales for putting Frank Tapano over the barrel for Frank Two Fingers for his video there.
It's not only the the sort of the dildo thing that he with Frank, but also the other thing that he would never have done this, and now he's doing it with Jasmine. Selling images of her, and I'm going, what a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I mean, what an absolute. And I actually checked because Sky had her little comedy piece on that, because that's how I found out about it. I didn't go to his. I haven't been to his channel now for ages. And also, she's very mischievous, Sky. I actually like her. She'll go onto these vegan sites of ex-vegans, and the others are criticizing, and Sky will go, oh, yeah, you're right. This is, she'll wind them up like there's no tomorrow. And she just takes a piss out of them continuously with this. So it's a lot of fun. Let's put it that way. And that's how I came across it. And I go, bloody hell, what a hypocrite Richard is. But have you seen him recently? The last one, he was actually walking out of some vegan establishment and he would nearly passed out. He was so brain fogged and so lack of energy that he nearly passed out. He was sort of struggling, and even Jasmine was doing much better. She was pushing him along, and he had actually sat there and actually had at one session at home. This is another one of Sky's, where he had multiple. What were they? There was a donut one, and there was another one with some sort of. But anyway, he literally nearly passed out. I can't remember. I think he actually passed out on one of them, and he actually shit himself as well. I mean, God Almighty! I mean, this community is literally going to hell in a handbasket, and these people, don't they get it? As I say, it's like the flat earthers. 50% of them are below that average, and I think they just don't get it.
The vegan diet is indicated for passing out and you're shitting yourself in public.
That's it.
At any age of the lifespan. Good.
I was talking to somebody today who was extolling the virtues of a plant-based diet because he knows somebody with two 15-year-old Great Danes who eat plant-based. and the owner is a vegan, and so he feeds his dogs what he eats. And therefore, because these Great Danes have anomalously lived beyond the expected age range, then veganism must be a good diet.
Most animals, when you put them on a species inappropriate diet, they end up with cancer and a whole lot of other things. Cancer in dogs is going through the roof. And, so it is bullshit, So this guy's just, who knows? I mean, this is a randomized control. We haven't seen basically any proof that this animal has been on a vegan diet for all its life. We don't know anything, supplementation or whatever else. So it's nonsense. You can't trust them. They lie.
No kidding.
They lie exactly. No kidding. Precisely. Yes.
There you go. Lucas said he passed out from eating fake meat.
Okay, it was fake meat. Yeah.
Unlike Frank Serpanos, who, on the other hand, no, let's not go there.
Please. Look, the reality is a lot of like we actually see in Potagen's cats, we saw these very unusual behaviors of these animals and also very unusual outcomes. They got all sorts of diseases. It wasn't one thing. And it's the same thing now. We're experimenting on the human race with all sorts of shit. And then the last generations, we're getting all sorts of strange diseases,
Yeah, I'm very interested
mental
in
diseases, autism, all these are going through the roof. They're not going accidental, If you go back and actually look at history, basically like the way people lived has more to do than anything else. But if you look at basically the modern diet today, what is it giving us? 1 in 3 North America cardiovascular disease, 1 in 3 cancer in their lifetime, 1 in 3 diabetes, full-blown diabetes is probably the whole nearly 70 or 80% of the population that's pre-diabetic anyway. So, this is a state of affairs when you go on just 70% plant-based, which is what the standard American diet is, and 30% of sort of half-baked, half-faked meats. Now with the fake meats, oh God, I just cannot imagine the next 2 or 3 decades what the state of health will be in those parts of the world that are embracing this garbage. It's going to be appalling. We just see vegans can't take it for 5 years, let alone the general public. They're just going to be going to their doctors and getting pumped with more medications. It's going to be horrendous what's going to happen. Yes.
Yeah, I'm very interested in your hypothesis about supplementing vitamin D for cats, Harry, talking about the importance of house cats being able to get sunlight, because obviously most people who have an indoor cat can't let it outside very frequently.
Well, the funny thing is, cats can actually produce their own vitamin C. The funny thing is when you go to a veterinary, I went to a veterinary sort of a business, and I actually asked them, do they have vitamin D for cats? They didn't even know what I was talking about. Mm-hmm. The next thing, because it's like all ruminants and all that, it's in the hairs and they lick it off or it gets absorbed. Most ruminants, it gets absorbed. There's actually enzymes that actually will absorb through the hair, down the hair follicles, and it'll actually go through the actual, at the base and get absorbed. Now with cats, all cats like lions, tigers, all this sort of stuff, they have to lick it off their hair. Mm-hmm. So there are different ways that animals do it. The other thing is that in an indoor cat obviously is not going to get the UV that it needs for that. And when you look at a lot of indoor animals, they tend to have far more like things like bone disorders, osteoporosis, and all these really deformities that actually are starting to emerge and stuff like that. And I turned up and I said,
like rickets, you're saying?
Yeah, similar sort of bone formations. And I actually asked them, and they actually said, "Oh, do you need vitamin? The only thing we've got here that vitamin C." And I'm going, "That's because of all the plant-based shit that these animals are eating. That they need to basically give them a high dose of vitamin C to sort of deal with all that oxidative stress they're causing from the inappropriate foods that they're actually recommending." And you only had to see the pet foods that they had on display. You could see them. They even had vegan pet foods. I'm going, what? This is a veterinary, surgery, and they've got this sort of crap. I was just shocked when I saw that sort of stuff. But that's the sort of shit. It's a good business model. Make the fucker sick, and then bring it in for surgery and all sorts of other things. It's a good business model, like the one that they're doing on humans.
Mm.
Yes. When we feed dogs and cats, we can die. Their personality changes. They lose their souls. Okay.
Yeah, I find it pretty disgusting that anybody's willing to feed a cat a vegan diet. I mean, a dog too. Obviously, it's still species inappropriate. Dogs are at least capable of digesting some carbohydrate. But to feed a cat a vegan diet is that's despicable to me.
Yes, exactly. That's what we're doing to ourselves, or we have been doing for the second half of the 20th century and early part of this world.
Look at that one.
Yellow Ted's bitch.
Did you just notice that?
Definitely Harry on the uptake. He's really paying attention to what he's saying.
I thought I was slow on it. That's why I commented on it.
Yes, I was sort of focused on the other stuff, and I looked down. I go, oh god,
yeah,
I missed that, didn't I? Oh shit.
So that photo there hasn't been messed with. That's the actual animal. That's the colouring that it's got.
I can't see the colours because of my blue blocking safety glasses.
All right.
Yes, it definitely looks more tigerish.
Exactly.
Yes. Interesting.
Which Jared won't be able to see with orange lenses on.
Exactly.
Everything's monochrome, red and white in these.
Yeah. I've worn those quite a bit in my time. I used to think it was a good idea to wear them outside during the day.
Oops.
These ones are actually safety goggles to prevent blue and green laser strikes.
Yep.
And they're 5% of the cost of blue blocks and block the exact same wavelengths. So.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So,
but we definitely need blue light in the daytime, as we need less melatonin and more cortisol in the daytime. They go in sync. It's just circadian rhythms, And this pussy would probably know, hopefully.
Yep. So that's my pussy shot for the day. There you go.
Oh, thanks for we all can do with a bit of excitement in our day.
Yeah. Right. Good day.
Yes. T2, do you get species appropriate foods as well for yourself? To maintain those feathers?
It's hard to get cat food that doesn't have plants added to it. It's ridiculous. Oh, we've got something from Luke. Get that up, Harry.
Okay. I need to get it up. Oh, let me rephrase that. People could construe that very wrongly.
No. I think we got it, Harry. We got there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
I am very pleased about these glasses.
They're so stylish, mate. They make you so stylish.
Well, they work, and they definitely block a better wraparound frame than just the glasses would.
That's true.
Fuck.
No, I do notice that I start getting tired about a half hour after I put them on.
Yeah.
A pussy likes a bit of jumping meat.
Was that shell talking again? That sounds like shell talk to me. Dear.
Oh yeah, no, there are cat foods you can get that don't have plants in them, but it's ridiculous how often there are plants there, even in raw cat food, even in good raw cat food that'll have, like just, I don't know, rabbit meat and rabbit organs or something like that, and they'll still add cranberries for urinary health and whatever else.
Look, yeah, they do actually
cats are known for climbing high bush cranberry and just chowing down on.
Exactly. They do put a lot of fruit, so they add more fructose. And I'm going, oh, wonderful. Let's, these poor animals are getting species inappropriate diet. Let's add the most glycating type of carbohydrate to the diet of these dogs and cats. Wonderful. Right. I mean, and it's mostly animals that are indoors or in the north or, 40 degrees or, in very colder parts of the world, which are not getting enough, vitamin D on top of that and a lot of other things. And I'll go, oh, wow, fantastic. He's gone.
He's practicing his dragon breathing, I assume.
I suspect.
Yeah, look at that.
Dragon breathing.
It's an important breathing exercise for when you have a respiratory infection.
Yeah.
It's effective anyway.
You do. But we know that. We know, Shell, that you live dangerously on a whole lot of levels.
Do you know what? And the number of times I've told Shell that she needs to stick around after class for the dusters. Do you know how many times she's actually stayed behind after class to do the dusters? Goodness me. She's actually a proper lady, and she's just pretending not to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. They definitely need organ meats. The animals.
Yeah.
Some of the best nutrition for them.
I like that new Avatar zombie. That's good.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Very stylish.
Yes, you're quite right, T2. If you look at my other channel, I've been chuffing about with cones all week, talking about gravity and light cones and future and past. And yeah, you're right. I have been ripping cones. Absolutely.
Yes.
I've been having fun over there, chuffing with cones.
He likes that middle line in the cones, the timeline.
Yeah.
It's very important for him,
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of those segments, those discrete segments of time.
Well, Bart, may I just say I'm very grateful that you're able to wrap your brain around such a complicated issue as a vanishing point and single point perspective for the sake of the flat earthers who are not.
That's my pleasure. I mean, one of the questions I do like to ask them, Jared, is I say to them, so tell me again, flat earth expert, how far away is the sun? To which they'll proclaim it's 5,000 miles. Yeah, okay. And then, so we'll explain sunset to me once again. How come the sun's going down below the level of this perfectly flat plane that we're on, even though it's visible from other parts of the plane simultaneously, which of course is a physical impossibility, but don't worry about that for now. Let's just deal with this. Oh, it's not going down, they say at all. It just appears to be going down. It's refraction. Actually, what's happening is it's getting the angular size of the sun is too small to see now. And great. And so how far away is this horizon? And they go, 3 miles. And you go, so this way we can see 3 miles. This way we can see 3,000 miles. What's the difference? And why isn't the sun any change in angular size, even though it's supposed to be disappearing into a singularity in the middle of our field of view? But why?
You're asking difficult questions, mate.
Yeah.
Also, wouldn't it be roughly 1,000 times larger in the sky at sunset?
Well, wow. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody here that hasn't seen my video on my other channel, my new one. It's called The Laws of Flurfy Dynamics. And it's a brief rundown on physics according to the Flat Earth Brigade. People that want to engage in that discussion at all have to first understand how utterly divorced from reality these fuckers really are.
They are completely and utterly.
You know, they will say, show me evidence of curvature, and you show them evidence, and they'll say, show me evidence of curvature, and you show them evidence again, and they say, yeah, but show me evidence of curvature. And then you go, okay, what's your next question? Show me evidence of rotation, and you go, ring laser gyroscope. Go, tell me why that's wrong. Show me some evidence that it's rotating. It's an impossible discussion.
Have you been accused of being a round Earth shill yet?
I've been accused of many things, I think, in my time, Jared. But luckily, everyone's been entirely positive about me publicly. No one's had anything bad to say about me at all. Hey,
so
Rich,
they're not on to you yet, is what you're saying?
I guess not. Yeah. One or two carnival people have unsubbed and told me, oh, you're a globetard, and it comes from surprising places. It really does. But you go, oh, yeah, okay, you're one of those. Fine, no great loss. You, sir or madam, if you believe the earth is flat, you are undercutting the credibility of the carnivore community.
Yeah.
You are making us all look like fucktards. We are not fucktards. You're a fucktard. The earth is not flat.
I think that is... that a lot of flat earthers are useful idiots for making those who question authority look stupid.
Mm.
Well, that's it. It undermines sort of our position as a credible...
You might as well come and spit in my fucking face if you're going to do that, frankly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Please don't come and spit in my face. I've got enough disgusting diseases of my own.
Exactly. Yeah. You should never... You should never tempt people under these circumstances.
Yeah. It's Yellow Ted's fault. He's a filthy whore. That's why.
We know that.
Yeah. Oh, shut up over there. Hear you. They're not fucking listening. They're not here to hear about your opinions. Goodness, be quiet.
Why haven't you got him a muzzle? You need to get him a muzzle.
Ooh, now Harry, he might like that. A ball. Good.
Somebody else is getting excited.
That ball makes it hard for you to say the safe word, doesn't it, bitch? What? Oh, sorry. That I just had to anyway,
back to flat earthers. Everyone else look like geniuses, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you have no evidence of curvature or rotation. Yeah, but we do. Well, show me some evidence then. Well, here it is. No, that's fake. Oh, okay, great discussion.
That's probably from the Never a Straight Answer Association of Space.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the whole thing.
That's the acronym for NASA, by the way.
Basic. I mean, it's disputing even basic Euclidean geometry. We're talking about just basic things here that these people are disputing. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Things that anyone can measure if they just apply basic, maths.
Yeah,
it's not difficult.
Yeah,
you can go out and use the methods used by my ancestors, which is parallax and even your shadow, to make these sort of measurements. You'll make them rough. They'll be very rough. But you can still make them.
Harry, you said the word parallax. In the mind of the flat earther, that is a foul heresy you've just gobbed there. A foul heresy.
I'm a bad boy.
Wait, parallax doesn't exist in flat earth?
God, no. Because that's the thing that absolutely determines how far away is the sun. Oh, bugger, 93 million miles is it? Fuck me, not 5,000, which we wouldn't be able to see anyway with our 3 mile limited range of vision, which if that's what it is horizontally, then it must be so 360, of course. Fuck.
The best
Yeah.
description of
Crazy
parallax
stuff.
that I remember is so simple that's mind-boggling to me that anyone would deny that it exists. The description that I remember was close one eye and point to a corner of the room, and now open your other eye.
Yeah.
That's parallax.
And that's worked on
How
every
does that phenomenon not exist?
Exactly. That's worked on every human being I've ever used it on until the other day when I was trying to explain this to Pim. And the reason I was explaining it to Pim is not because she desperately wanted to know this stuff. I can promise you, she desperately didn't, because she has absolutely no interest in this whatsoever. But I was doing it as to prepare myself to make a video on the topic of parallax, which is on my other fine channel. You can go and watch if you like after this. It's really good. It's called P Brain is a P Brain or something like that. Anywho, that's basically where that one went to. And I got to that point with the explanation and I got her to do that. And it turns out she's neither eye dominant. Her brain is, she's not judging distances in binocular vision. And I've always wondered why she's pulling out in front of cars I wouldn't and calling me a pussy, because I won't. So look, yeah.
Now you know.
It's because she's got no fucking depth perception on that scale.
I like that you add on and calling me a pussy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you basically take your life in your own hands each time.
Obviously, like, I kid you not. Yesterday, I'm driving 40 in a 50 zone, and she said to me, "Why are you driving like an old woman?"
Well, how would you describe driving like that?
Well, I had no hurry to get anywhere. Nice days. Maybe I'm getting old, Jared. Maybe that's
You were just cruising along, mate. You were enjoying the. You were
There was
enjoying the.
nobody there was nobody in front of me. We had no hurry to get anywhere.
Yeah, to be fair, I do that all the time. If it's a road I'm not in anybody's way and I'm not in a hurry, I'm just enjoying the drive or listening to music.
Yeah. So, yeah. Funny as fuck.
So you were being told to speed up while you were cruising.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't often get that one. It's often the other way around. It's always the one.
Yeah, I know.
I shouldn't have done that.
That would have been painful.
Yeah.
Most everybody goes 10 over the limit where I am.
Yeah.
No, Luke, I just know how to take my time when there's time to be taken.
Yeah. That's it. You'll learn that when you get a bit older, son. It's useful sometimes.
These uncontrollable
She knows exactly what she was talking about. She knows what we mean right now.
That's what I was just laughing at.
I have less and less respect for Shell every day, and I love it.
You cougar, slow cruising cougar.
You have more and more respect for your lack of respect for her.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes, we know you like it slow and steady, T1.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Any crazy questions, guys, out there? Can be really off the cuff.
Here you go. You don't get an invitation like that often. No, I'm fucking not asking Harry that. No. Jesus Christ. Let me see if I can find something for you. I mean, I'll put this up, Harry. Well, you can have a look at it before you decide you want to put it up or not, Harry. But let me see if I can get the. Oops. I'll download the image, so it's just the image, and I'll take it out of its context.
Yeah, not a problem. Can liver damage impair gluconeogenesis?
Wait, Kate, you think this is a nutrition discussion or something?
Jesus.
Have you not been listening? You want his opinion on this?
Well, look, you do. It can actually affect a lot of things. You know, there are a number of enzymatic pathways that can actually be affected. There's genetic pathways that can be come into play. There's the FXR, which basically needs to be supported with MK4, and that usually resolves some of these issues. So does choline. Those two things, Anybody that talks about the impaired level of gluconeogenesis in people with, we're talking about cirrhosis here, I hope you mean, really severe liver damage, So yes, you would get some level of impairment, but it gets also a level of impairment too in terms of lipid metabolism. It's across the board. You'd have a lot of issues.
So, Harry, I was sent this by someone as their opening gambit for a discussion, someone I'd never met before. Somebody just sent me this and said, so, tell me which one you are.
Oh.
Can you make that bigger?
Let me just see.
Can you make the picture bigger, or
Jared? Come on now. I got there just after I finished saying that sentence. Oh fuck, he's going to jump straight on that one.
I mean, I'm not going to jump straight on this. To be clear,
the problem is it's the angle, mate. It's the angle.
It's perspective is interfering there a bit, so it makes it hard.
Exactly.
There's also no sense of scale at all. So, of course, I proudly proclaimed, right, well, I'm going to claim this number for myself, whatever number I should have chosen.
I would say it was the second row, the second on the second row, which is sort of a straight, that'd be more like, myself. If we're looking at.
Thanks, Harry.
Right. Thank you, Harry. Anyway, I picked the number. I picked the number for myself, and I proclaimed, I think I'm such and such, only, of course, to be told, no, you're not, you're another number. Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks.
So, is this piece available as wall art?
Well, I think it might be. Yeah.
It looks like wall art because you can actually, just see the. I think it is wall art. It's a bit like we've got something similar in Tasmania, and it's
a bunch of dicks on the wall.
No. Well, there are quite a few dicks here that I have to deal with. That's true. But no, it's the Mona Museum, and it's basically a whole lot of different fannies. Wow. It's a wall of them, the different variety and all that. And this is part of the main part of the exhibition at the top. It's really funny.
Lucas did not come here to look at a bunch of dicks, Harry. He's out of here. I'm going home.
Look, it's a bad bald man you got to blame.
All right, are you happy now? Yes, I did your evil bidding. Okay, see, that's what happens when I listen to this clown.
Exactly. Right? I've been telling you, stop listening to Ted. He's leading you down the wrong part, the garden path of.
Anyway, for those that desperately want to know the answer, I said to myself, I think I'm definitely number 11, and of course, I was immediately told, no, son, you're a 6 on that thing that we've just seen. So you'll have to go back and rewind to get an idea of that.
We'll leave them to ponder that.
Yeah. I think we should turn that into a T-shirt. It's a good opening gambit. So which are you?
Yeah, well, that would sell.
Yeah.
So what was the context in which you were posited that question as the first line of inquiry, Bart?
It was somebody that it was a random request on Facebook for a message, which fine, whatever, a message doesn't do any harm. Usually on the face pages thing, you can usually work out straight away who's a scammer from Africa.
Yeah.
Because they'll call me dear. Oh, okay, you're a scammer from Africa then, off you fuck. Anyway, this was the first message, and it just said sort of, hi, which one are you?
And then you responded, and then they corrected you?
No, I was corrected from behind my shoulder, from the one that was leaning on my shoulders at the time laughing.
That's what I thought. Okay. Auntie
Pim, she's the one that made the correction. No, you're not. No, you're number 6. She said. Anyway. I'd chosen 11.
Is it a merch item, mate?
Wow, perhaps. If you mean my number 6, then yeah, it's a merchandisable item. It's for sale. Auntie Pim will whore it out for the right price. Yeah.
No comment.
None required. Everybody knows it's a cosmic truth.
Yes. Definitely is.
Oh my god.
My signature has fewer and fewer characters in it as I get older, and it takes less and less time to write. I'm not sure how that translates to this joke.
Hey, when you get to my age, my signature now is like a B, and it's just got
yeah.
It's like I cannot be asked with any more letters.
That's mine. I kind of J bumps.
Certain time it'll just be a J. I am the J.
Perfect.
Yeah, get fucked with your letters and curly extra effort and shit. Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing for a signature where that's just like a legally binding mark that you make, which is why like an X works, so it doesn't actually have to represent anything. But then when my handwriting starts looking like that, and it's like it's encrypted even against me.
Kitty's gone and got that diagram, and now she's studying it, hasn't she?
I know.
Yeah.
You know, Kitty, what she's like.
Yeah.
She'll spend the whole week studying it.
Yeah.
Detail by detail.
Yeah.
Line by line.
And by the end of the week, it'll be her scratching pole.
Girth by girth. Length by length.
But can you imagine to feel, I'm an 11, to be told, no, you're a 6.
Well, Pim's facts don't care about your feelings, Bart.
That's it. And triangles aren't a real thing. And if you're a flat earther, triangles are heresy, Harry. Absolutely. You can't have it. No proof, they say, that you've got curvature. We say, well, okay, subtend an angle to the sun at local apparent solar noon. Do that on the same day with multiple people standing at multiple different angles on the same line of latitude, and do some calculations from trigonometry and tell me exactly how far away the sun is on that basis. Guess what? At every angle of incidence, you get a different number, won't you, son?
Exactly.
The only way that could possibly be true would be if the Earth's surface was curved, round. Whoops. End of discussion.
Yes, but they won't do those calculations.
No, they'll just say, show me some proof that it's curved.
It is heresy.
But why do the crepuscular rays diverge?
I've done a video on that.
I know.
Jared, you know I have.
Do you know in space?
As a photographer, that one is hilarious to me. That's just
in space, because actually astronauts can see them also in certain fields of view, and they don't behave the way they behave when they go through the atmosphere. And that's just because of atmospheric, you've got particulates in clouds, you've got soot, particulates and all that have that effect on those rays coming in from the sun. And that's the difference. But the thing is, remember, we haven't been in space. That's a myth.
Because you cannot have a gas pressure next to a vacuum without the necessary antecedent, a container.
Exactly.
That guy's incredible.
God, it would be. I think the best sort of comedy would be to have a flat Earth comedy. Can you imagine? You'd be in tears.
Is that not exactly what we've got?
I don't think you need to make Flat Earth a comedy. I think you just need to report on the comedy that is Flat Earth.
Yeah. That's it. So true.
Yeah. Shella's concerned that we may not have understood that she wasn't talking about pencils. We got there, Shell. I'm with you. You know I'm with you. You know I'm with you. You don't have to check with me. Is it just these other two characters that are a concern for you? Goodness me.
Photography video. I'm not going to make a boudoir photography joke.
Oh, go on.
That's it.
Very good. Yeah, the firmament, yes. But my firmament.
Black humor.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be blackbird humour as well. We could combine them.
Mm. It's a bit windy here, Harry.
Is it now? So you're getting all bad weather a couple of
No.
days back.
Bart's just looking up at me.
Yeah. Lovingly.
How do you do that?
Mm.
How do you achieve that through the ether?
Well, exactly. How do you achieve anything? Yeah.
I don't know. I hope I don't get sick from Bart, because from what I can see, it's only like this far away.
Exactly. You're
Yeah.
very close.
Right.
You're likely to. You know.
Mm.
So basically, I should say I'll see you in a fortnight's time.
Mm. Yeah.
Are they now?
No great loss, Harry.
No, God, no. You know, I mean, they nearly didn't join the Federation right at the beginning.
Right.
You guys opted out completely. That's
We
what-
just we just couldn't keep up with you pricks for sheep shagging. Frankly, that was what it was.
Oh, no. It wasn't that. Be honest. You just didn't want us coming over and dominating the animals there.
Uh-huh. Well, there weren't that many animals here, frankly. Actually,
Well, small
back in
pickings.
the day. Yeah. There are no native New Zealand land mammals at all.
Well, most of them are birds, aren't they?
Yeah, we had birds, both terrestrial and flighted, and pretty much that was it. There was no mammalia of any kind,
Yeah,
except
you don't have
except
snakes
for the
and stuff
marrow.
like that either.
Mm. But then, like one of the birds was called a moa, MOA, and these things were 8 foot at the shoulder,
Shit.
and with the fully extended neck, they were sort of up to 15 feet in height, and could bring the whole thing down on you, and also had legs with musculature like that on them, and they could kick, and they had claws that were 6 inches long on them, and that kind of stuff.
Is that like a Mad Max version of an emu?
It's the closest thing you can imagine to rewinding a bird and making it a fucking dinosaur again.
Sounds like they'd have good eating on the drumsticks.
Yeah, and the only thing that used to prey upon these moa, other than the maras, was a native eagle that had claws like that had a wingspan like, whatever, I can't remember what the numbers are.
Oh, man.
And these things would dive bomb in, and
Contemporary eagles are gobsmacking sometimes when you see one close enough to really get a good sense of scale of how big their wingspan is. Like,
Exactly.
like 10 feet, 11 feet.
Yeah.
This must have been a real big. Yeah.
This one was a tank on wings.
Mm.
It was a real, yeah. So that said, no mammals at all. No possums, no land shrews, no mices, no mices, no rats. None of that. They just weren't here at all.
Well, you brought the rats in.
The Europeans brought everything that's now in New Zealand. Other than that, it was brought there by the Europeans
Exactly.
from Europe and Australia, and the Pacific, and down from America, and all of that.
Oh, I mean, there's nothing like having a South Pacific dumping ground.
Quite right, too, Zombie. Never mess with a cassowary. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Very dangerous animal. Very dangerous.
Ever tried any of the native animals over there as something to eat, or?
Well, you're not allowed to eat kiwis, so
Obviously, that
doesn't happen. They're protected. The only thing that you could probably maybe get away with from time to time would be a native wood pigeon.
Okay.
But I think they're now on a protected list as well.
Okay.
Kiwis forever, since God knows, because we introduced ducks and chickens, so that's where we get our bird meat from. And there's a season for ducks that you're allowed to shoot them, and it's limited. Chickens obviously are bred in batch farms, no problem. So we don't need to go and hunt the native elusive wood pigeon so much.
Oh, one thing that I did want to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you guys have things similar to a platypus or not?
That would be a sort. Well, the platypus is a pseudo mammal, isn't it?
It is.
We had none of those. Basically, we had birds and insects.
Okay, so anything that could fly to the islands basically ended up on the islands, and that's how they all got there.
And then I guess some of them gave up flight in favour of skies. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Well, they had no predators on the ground.
Or indeed the large birds went there before any separation occurred, maybe.
Yeah,
but you have to think also they had no predators, so becoming land animals and all that wouldn't have been a problem.
Exactly.
You know? So it makes sense why more birds, because most birds, they either remain large to be able to protect themselves, or they go extinct from predators, or they basically become land only in circumstances like that. So it makes a lot of logical. It's all adjustments. No different than those. Like the savannah chimps. They start behaving like hominins, getting together in groups to protect themselves in the savannah environment. Very different, what people would call unnatural behavior. We need to send Richard out there to basically tell those chimps to basically stop behaving like hominins, that is just so inappropriate. Just because they're in the savannah, they can't take liberty in their behaviors.
And if they won't listen, he can show them where to stick it.
That's true as well. He could show. Well, they would probably show him as well.
Harry, we also need to add platypus to the list of animals that you do not mess around with, unless you're able to identify the difference between a male and a female platypus. You're best just not to try and handle them at all.
Exactly.
The males have a spike there, which is got a neurotoxin. Frankly,
precisely.
Very, very painful. Don't fuck with platypi either. So cassowaries, no. Platypi, no.
Did you hear that, bird brain?
The greater one-eyed yellow Ted, you don't mess with him either, frankly. Or you end up copping it sweet, frankly.
We've noticed. It's so obvious.
Yeah. Yeah. There has been a hostile takeover, I can tell you.
Yeah, well, I just noticed from your, I think we've all noticed. We know what your role is.
Don't worry, boys and girls, he'll be dead soon.
See? It's just completely uncontrollable.
Exactly. Awful, I don't know how you put up with him, I can understand.
Well, he funds the whole thing.
I've been saying to people, please send more money to Bart. He needs,
basically,
he needs the therapy. He needs to, look what he's having to put up with. It's just awful. Ted is really evil, Ted. We're talking about, vulgar.
Yeah.
Has, no style whatsoever.
I'd say he has pretty decent style. I would wear what's he wearing? Like pants or coveralls?
Those like Richard Simmons pants from the 80s?
Oh, like parachute pants.
Well, like, the fluffy shorts.
Do you remember the guy that used to do all the exercise stuff?
That's what he's wearing. And he's winking at you too, Jared. He thinks you're quite cute. He told me to sound you out for later. I'll talk to you after the show.
He's a bad Ted.
There's something in it for you, Ted's. Yeah. Okay.
I just wouldn't take him up on it. What's he say?
You don't fuck with bowerbirds, alrighty? Okay. What makes them dangerous? Is it the wee pickers?
You need an electron microscope, mate.
Have you seen the size of a bird cock? Have you? Jesus. Oh, Harry's lost shit. We've finally seen Harry at the edge. He's fucking gone. There we go.
I'm glad Harry can laugh himself breathless at his own jokes.
Well, somebody has to.
Yeah.
One of these days, I think I'm going to come and sit on your deck and we're going to fire up the Barbie and I'm just going to fill you up with piss and say, go for it, Harry. I think it'll be as funny as fuck. I said I'm going to come and sit on your deck.
Yeah, I heard.
Deck. Fucking Australians. Jesus.
I know the difference. One's made from wood.
Mate, there's no differentiation on that test with me, son. That's not going to solve the quandary for you.
You know, it's very dangerous when talking to a Kiwi.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that? Can you clarify that?
Yeah. Mm.
So let that be a lesson to you, Jared. Always ask for clarification.
Noted. I'm just going to write that down, actually.
Just note that.
Always ask for clarification.
That's it. There was the classic story that we were told by this real estate sales trainer. I did real estate at one point when I had nothing better to do. And this guy was an Australian and he'd come across from Australia to New Zealand for whatever reason. Because we're a much better country to live in and stuff, probably, in many respects. But not financially. It's actually, the money's better in Australia. But anyway, that's another story. This guy came across, he's a real estate salesman, and he was told, of course, by his sales manager, because he was going to be working in South Auckland, where there were a lot of island communities, and he was told, look, it's very important that you do observe their rituals, and, you know, I'll give you a few examples. Take your shoes off before you go inside the house, and, you know, all of this kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. And he gets to his first job to appraise this property, and it's a huge Samoan family. And I mean, she's massive in every fucking direction. He's, you know, 6.5 foot, whatever, and that's just across the shoulders sort of thing. You know, these guys that you see that
Exactly.
Are just, yeah. Whew. Anywho, he gets there and he's like, oh, you know, I'm such and such. And I was like, all right, come inside. And the first thing, I'm very proud of it. So I'm going to suggest that you come and sit on my dick. And he's like, sorry, sir, you want me to? And the wife's going, oh, don't you refuse him. You'll have to sit on his dick. He's very, very proud of his dick. And he's like, yeah, man, just the biggest dick in the neighborhood. And it wasn't until we got to it. I built it myself, coming up, look, it was like the guys, oh, thank fuck.
So what's the take-home message, kiddies? Don't go native in New Zealand.
They have the same thing here, Harry. They always say the same thing. Once you go black, you never go back. That's it as well.
Fucking hell, mate. Thanks for the laughs.
It's my job. It's what I'm here to do. It might be the last time you see me, Harry. I could expire this afternoon.
Nah, that won't happen. Ted will keep you going. He'll give you mouth to mouth. I don't know whether you want it.
I've seen where that dirty horse had his tongue in the past. I'm not going anywhere near it, frankly.
Huh.
Yeah, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they say. Which I think is a bit silly, frankly.
So after 6 or 6, you jump on them.
You only have to count to 5 first.
That's it.
Yes. Shell's impressed by our big dick.
Somebody is. It's good.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I'm sticking with my original call. I'm still going to claim 11 for myself. Only Pim can get fucked. I'm having it. She's not here.
I can't see. You need to post that picture to your Discord, Bart. I'm sure the
Yeah, I
community
did.
would have some fun with that.
I think I did. I'm sure I did.
What do they say? Ignorance is bliss.
I can always repost it if you like, or I can DM you, Jared, if you need to do some study. And
I mean, it isn't.
Yeah, well, perhaps. He always said he was going to have the last word. Yeah, fish and chops. That's what it, fish and chops.
Yes. All the right comments are coming in fast.
And some of them are publishable.
Barely.
So, there you have it.
We're trying to please, mate. We're trying to please.
There you go. There it is. I'm still having it. I'm having 11 for myself. Get fucked. 6 indeed. Jesus. Goodness me.
Well, Harry did, I guess, predict which one for you then, didn't he? Emphasis putting the dick in predict.
Yeah.
It's a horizontal. It's a.
It almost sounds like a German porn line, doesn't it?
It does. It does. This is. It's high German art.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Ted was into that sort of stuff.
You wouldn't believe some of the things Ted shows me.
I can believe it.
He's always tapping me on the shoulder and saying this and that. Anyway, there you go.
Yes, Ted. Say no more. We know who wears the pants in the house.
Yeah, the very yellow ones. Look at these hot pants. Woo! Okay. Teddy knows how to style for the ladies, doesn't he? You might see on the he's taken to wearing sunglasses in the thumbnail images these days as well. He's got these cool white sunglasses he's got on. He's like you, Jared. He's concerned about his one remaining eye. Yeah. Now, Nick, actually, I want to cover this book, Kitty. This is actually very interesting. If you stand Pim and I back to back and level across the top of our heads, we are actually the exact same height. Pim is shorter in the legs than I am, and she's longer in the waist than I am, so that when we're sitting next to each other on these chairs, she will sit taller than me.
Right.
But our actual heights are the same. So, there you go.
Yep, and that's how it is.
Not that that's important, but I just thought I'd clarify that point, just purely for scientific rigor. There you go.
Not because you're at all offended at the prospect of people thinking Pim is taller than you.
Oh, look, I'm not tall. I'm 1.68, which is less than 5'6". So there you go.
I think that's about how tall people say Joe Rogan really is.
Yeah, I don't think he is tall.
No, he's.
Yeah.
He acknowledges he's not tall, but people still tease that he exaggerates his height nonetheless.
Trolls.
Trolls.
Oh, you better hope I don't show her that. You'll be in such trouble, T2. She would say, right, we're going to find him now. And she will get there. She'll say, all right, funny man. Now.
She turns into a cartoon Nazi when she's angry.
Oh, yes. And she'll be getting out her tools by this stage. Yes, she will. She'll be getting out her torture kit, sharpening things up. She'll be thinking about her evil plans for your penance.
Yes, for the bird demise.
Yeah. Anyway, Thanks for giving us a laugh, Brave.
Did somebody say troll? The other one appears.
He's just running interference for T2, who thinks she's going to get away with it now because it was funny. Oh no! If I show a man, you're fucked. You have to do exactly as I say for the rest of your life now. Send me $1 million.
If you want to survive, Bird Brain.
Yeah.
Life is at a premium.
Yeah.
You'll be carved and diced. Oh, somebody's setting up someone.
Oh, now you got to do what T1 says for the rest of your life as well. Anybody else that wants anything over Bird Brain? Now's your chance, boys and girls. Just I think T1 is selling copies of the screenshot for, what is it, $50 a crack or so? Is it T1?
That's it.
Good. Contact me. I'll take payment on his behalf, and something will happen after that. I don't know.
You've had it. You're done. You've done your history.
Yeah.
We'll be cashing in on you for decades.
He's like a flat earther. He gets in such trouble. He says, now I need to say something monumentally fucking stupid. Just shut the guy up, because he'll be gobsmacked by how stupid it was for you to say that.
And he considers himself an expert as well. He's not an amateur. It's T1 that's the amateur.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I'm an expert. I can say...
Dead bird walking. There's a dead bird walking up in here. Everybody pay attention. Here's a dead bird. He's walking. Dead bird walking here. Love it. Okay, what's next?
We're going back to the old theme.
Still on the phallus wall.
Six coughs.
I want
God,
I want that wall art instead of a coat rack.
coat rack.
Terence and Philip think cock jokes are funny, but they're not.
I think anything that can make somebody laugh is funny.
Oh, yes.
Well, it's a quickest way to lower stress.
Laughter is the best medicine, unless you are suffering from bronchitis, in which case.
It's a pain in the ass.
Pain in the
Bit
chest.
higher. Yeah, somewhat higher. Yeah.
We'll go with the first.
If she wasn't 11, it really would be a pain in the ass, wouldn't it? See, that's how you actually do humor. That's how you make it really genuinely funny. See how I delivered that? Hope you learned something from it. Pay attention next time.
That might have been the most casual pegging joke I've heard.
There you go. See?
Good one. Thanks, mate.
Yeah. I'll leave that with you so that you've got something to hang your hat on.
Well, I've got that wall art already to hang my hat on.
You can have many hats.
At least
Check out the Mona Museum.
Mm-hmm. Could have a feminine version for the other wall for keys, etc. Fuck. No, Take me out, motherfucker. No, you're in trouble.
We're having too much fun with you.
Yeah. I don't know who will clean up the mess, Yellow Ted. Oh, goodness. Yellow Ted's going to be front row for the show. Oh.
And you find that strange?
He's always front row. He's just sat here. So at this time, has anybody thought about now's the perfect time to become a world famous ventriloquist?
Oh. Can we see a demo?
Well, you'd have a mask on.
Because of the masking, yes.
So both
God,
you and the dummy have to
I'm
wear a
getting
mask.
tired.
It'd be great, wouldn't it? I could do this.
Oh, yes.
I'm ashamed of how long it took me to get that joke.
Yeah, I am too, but I'll let you off because it's very late.
Thank you.
I think I'd make a Michelle doll. I think, and yeah.
You know, we've missed the
Anecdotes.
blah 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 finished. I've missed that for some time, mate. Oh bloody hell!
What's that from?
I have no idea. I actually stole it from a guy that was doing anti-flat Earth things some time back.
I recognized it when he first used it. I don't know where I recognize it from though.
Right. Okie dokie.
A show doll? Hold on, let me just see. Blah, blah, finish.
That's all jumpy stuff, wasn't it?
It doesn't matter. I enjoyed it.
We'll do it again. Just
Definitely.
Okay, let's go.
Blah, blah, bloody blah, 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 finish.
He sounds like Homer Simpson.
Yeah, I think it's voiced by the same.
Yeah.
Same. It was on a. I know it was on BBC, but that doesn't mean it was an English production. And the reason I know it was on BBC because before I cropped this video, there was a BBC logo in the top left-hand corner. So it was a program that had at least been broadcast on the BBC at some time. It's also a clip. This exact clip was used by a guy that was making anti-flat Earth videos to take the piss out of their ridiculous arguments. And I picked it up at that time and started using it on my channel.
Now I'm looking for it. Can't find it.
Now you've got a picture of this dog with a tag under it saying "Yellow Ted's bitch." Now you got a new bitch, Yellow Ted. There he is. Oh, somebody screenshot that. Lucas, are you here still? No, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
I'll do it myself. Fucking hell. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know what I'm doing with this computer. I can't drive.
You're all over the place, mate.
That with you? I can't do it. I'm completely inept. So, there you go.
He definitely does. He definitely does. And you see it? And there's a thing from the old from the Motor Museum.
All right. There's only two things that look like muscles, isn't there?
Oops, not that. I thought I was going to go to something else. Even got a bloody award. I don't think it was for that.
Goodness.
So this is the one that's for my keys?
This is the one at the museum. They've actually got it. It's on the second floor, and it's just a long row of them. This is just a sample. Anybody that's visited the museum,
it looks indisputably like art to me.
Yes, it is artistic. You know, it's fine art. The funny thing is, every year they actually have like a different theme. Another. So we used to, well, with a couple of friends, would go at the end of the year and would have like a meal there, and then we'd just wander through the whole museum, just checking out all the new stuff that was because they change it sort of every 9 months or so, sometimes every 12 months. And so if you've gone at the end of the year and then you go the next year at the end of the year again, it'll be quite different from the previous one. So I enjoyed doing that. We go up on the ferry and we start drinking, as you can understand, into the sort of celebration party. We get to have our feed and whatever else. And then after that, we just sort of wander through the museum. And the nice thing about it is, because we're Tasmanians, or you just show your driver's license and you get in for free. So you just wander around for free. So if you're an interstate or an overseas person, there is some sort of charge, but I have no idea. You'd have to check the website. So
Thanks, Necro.
Auntie Pim has something to say.
Does she?
Tell us.
Has
Do I
she?
have to
Come on.
yell at Ted's bitch?
Go, listen.
You're in trouble.
Say it again.
You are in trouble.
Who's in trouble?
T2.
Good, yeah. All right, good.
Yell at Ted's bitch.
Yeah.
roasted bird.
Come with us.
Okay, give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, I have to go and do the bidding of she who must be obeyed. So I'll leave you with those thoughts then.
Thanks, mate, for dropping in. I appreciate it.
Not at all. My absolute pleasure.
Yep.
Now I need to go and report to Auntie Pim so that she knows why T2 is in such trouble. I better make some shit up, hadn't I?
You better.
Yes. Thank you for the stimulating conversation as always, Bart.
Not at all. My pleasure. My pleasure. No, we have to go and walk these two furry fiends, and apparently nearly dying of bronchitis and not having enough energy to walk to the front of the house doesn't get me out of it. So we'll catch you boys at the service. I'll be the one in the box. You'll be the ones that will be pointing and laughing, and that's how it'll be. All right. So I'll sign out. See you later. Thanks for having me.
See you, mate. Take care.
Hey, Bart.
Bye, mate. Yes, I have to say.
I'll stay for another 5 minutes or so.
I love him.
Is there any other burning questions about genitalia from our respectable listeners?
Bird brain, you know what you are now. You've really stepped over the mark. What's that? I don't know. I haven't seen Cornell for a while. He apparently occasionally appears. I do get him appearing quite a lot on my Euro, sort of the Euro live ones. But it's just because we're so much later, it's sort of out of whack for his time schedule, I suspect. Nothing will save him. Nothing but a good whipping. Wouldn't you agree, Shell? Nothing but a good whipping would save him. Yes, let's hope he gets well soon. Yes, it is a good whipping. What does T2 say? Tick. You're real. LOL, almost over. Yes, unfortunately, we're getting close to the end of the live stream. So can't go on forever, unfortunately. That is life. I have to stay within the 3-hour sort of limit, more or less, to be able to make up. Actually, let me just check. Yeah, because I've got 5 weeks this week. Sorry, this month. So in August, we've got 5 week Sundays. And so it means that if I stay for too long, I get over my limit. of my StreamYard limit, and then I won't be able to live stream on the 30th because I get reset on the 2nd, which is a Wednesday following that last live stream. So I have to be very careful and protective of the time. So there won't be. I usually do one Euro live stream, which is at the beginning of this month, and which will mean that there will not be another one until the next month, unfortunately, because otherwise I can't do my live streams in the morning because it's just the unfortunate thing with the reality with the time. I'll see what towards the end of the month. I'll see what sort of time I have, and then I may do some like a small live stream for the Euro Live, just like an hour or whatever. If there's an hour, which I've got extra on the side, so it'll depend on how many hours I get through in the normal way. Yeah, look, Bart's gone. Ted's gone. Thank the fuck for that. It's Ted. It's all Ted's fault. We shouldn't invite Ted. I've been telling you guys.
Does that mean that we summon Necro by talking about dicks?
Hurry up and finish, damn it! I need to go somewhere and find a deep hole. Just ask Richard Burgess about that. He knows a lot about deep holes, and
he can probe the depths like at least that far.
That's it. Yes.
All right. I think I should get headed to bed.
I'm about to pull the pin as well on this. Deep holes. Finished. Blah 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 blah. Deep holes finished.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, Shell. That's actually the name of the wall art piece that Harry was showing that has all the fannies on it.
Actually, yes, it does. So all you have to do is just go to the Mona, MONE museum, and they've got a number of these things you can actually check out on what they've got. Some bird is sucking up to you.
Necro's burning Richard. She says his thumb is as far as he can go with any of his appendages.
Yes. Good to see you, John.
That was good. I'm glad that Bart hopped on.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We had a lot of fun. Yes, definitely. Yes, I love my Mona. Yes. It's actually that song. What is it called? I can't remember. Some famous song about Mona. Yes.
Oh, I know the one you mean.
Yeah.
It's been used in a couple of movies I like.
Exactly. Yeah. Oops. Yeah.
By Craig McLachlan.
Yeah, by Serona.
No, there's a song called Mona.
It's a different one. It's called Mona. It's
by Craig McLachlan.
That's the sort of where it goes, Barcelona. It's a different style of Yep, that's it. That is definitely it.
Yeah. All right.
I'll let you go. Thanks. Take care. See you next week.
Yeah,
where the entertainment will continue.
I'll be here next week. I'll be as ready as I can be for another round like tonight.
You never know your luck. It's either going to be full on nutrition or it's going to be comedy.
If I didn't have to keep a grown-up schedule through the rest of the week, I would shift my hours later so that I could stay up later and not be so tired on the stream. when it's toward the end like this. But
Yes, don't get into too many exciting things. Just go straight to bed. Don't listen to Kitty. Oops. And ripping Birdie. There's no love between the thickest thieves, those two. There's no love between the two.
okay, well, have a good night, everybody, and have a good week.
See you,
I'll
mate.
see you next week.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks, Harry.
Bye, mate.
See ya.
And he's gone. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. There you go. That's as much as you get. You don't get my deck. Nope. Yes, bye, Nexie. Good to. Jarrah's always fun. Takes everything like the rest of us, lighthearted and all that. And that's how we should treat life, It's we need to be lighthearted about this. I mean, we have fun with our vegetards and our flat earth fellow human beings that have lost their way. But we've got to have fun with some people. Love hearts for you ladies. Anyway, I'd better sign off as well. I'm off to Dad's for a meal, so he's cooking pork. Yes, so that'll be really interesting and enjoyable. So more pork for me. And yes, have a nice remainder of the weekend. North America, obviously you're in Saturday night, so have a nice day tomorrow. For the rest of us in the other parts of the world, enjoy the remaining of your Sunday. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for contributing to the humor as well, because it goes both ways. It's not only us, but the banter coming from you guys that really makes the show what it is. So I do appreciate it, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for your participation. See you, T2. Take care. Thanks, Richard. See you, Necro Kitty. And my dear friend, loving friend, T1. See you, mate. Take care. Westy. No, not really. We all did. We all made a mess of it. But it was good humor. Humor is good for the soul. So there is nothing wrong with humor. We had a great time. You're welcome, Shell. Thanks for participating and contributing to the fun. Yeah, I know. We love you, T2. We love you from the bottom of our heart. I don't know about this guy, but, he's probably got a bit of love for you. It's tiny, very, very tiny, but there is a bit there. Anyway, guys, see yous. I better get my act together and get the fuck out of here and over to Dad's. So it's 22:02. I said to him I'll be there at 2, so I need to get some pants on and all that. By the time I walk over, it will be 2 o'clock. So thanks, Scott. You too. And it hasn't come up on the StreamYard thing. It just came up. Yep, thanks, mate. And take care, and we'll chat. I may actually, I'm looking at Zoom as well, and I may actually try and use Zoom. Like I may do something through the week. So no promises. I'll just check and see. So maybe a bit off the cuff thing. It's really hard to put people's comments up, but I'll try and work out. I'll probably use just the YouTube thing and see how I can work it. I haven't really played around with Zoom, so I don't really know how to. So I need to do a bit of a trial run to try and get my head around how to use it properly, and then I may start using that. If it is workable, I'm considering if it's workable. I don't know yet. I may end up using one platform for the general live stream, maybe the Euro live stream, doing it every week, and using basically Zoom if it works. So I'm not really sure yet what the performance is. So it's still up in the air about that. So it'll be interesting to see how I can get that. So I'm looking at a number of options. Also, I'm looking at upgrading my computer as well. So I've been looking through different stuff, and I need to basically upgrade so I can get better performance in doing stuff. But both for my needs, but also it'll be a benefit also for YouTube. And so since this year I haven't gone on holidays because I can't get out of the fucking state, I might as well use the money that I would regularly spend on 1 or 2 holidays a year on basically getting myself a top of the range gaming computer. So I'm looking at, with a GTX 2080 card, so high performance, gaming machine. Got to have a bit of fun. And also, so stuff like that. Is he offering innocent hugs? I wouldn't trust him. I mean, you. Do not trust him. No. Shells on the... Yeah, innocent. Yeah, we know what sort of innocent. Brush up again. You definitely don't want... do you realise that, Birdie, that, frogs are poisonous? You do not want to brush up against one of those. Yes, yes. You'll come off second best. Believe me. Let alone he may do some other inappropriate things to you as well. Do not go there, please. Yes. Just look at his devilish. Yes. Worrying. I'm gonna go. See yous. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Take care. Have a good week, and I will see you next week. See yous all.